do. We just what's wrong? He's out of the office. I helped build. I'm sorry, but it's a fact that there is such a thing as manners. The way of treating people. I'm starting a new company. Who's coming with? This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. Kill the cancer, you can call me a sick assassin. Cut the chains, you can call me LeBron James. Make a decision, but you never had the intuition. Change the vision, but more them that cause division. Never get submission like I did permission. Niggas steady telling lies like a politician. Nigga need to cool it down, but we the new edition. Yes, yeah, the name is the source, check the reinvention. You think we not prepared for the fallout? Watch us stack this information, watch us ball out. And the roster's fire make you pay attention. On a collegiate level with no contradiction. This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, with a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. Get rid of animals so I can get rid of the fleas. So I leave, no longer in the den of thieves. My brother King Seth said he gon' rock forever. No matter what the problem, we gon' stick together. Horizon told me he want more scholarship. So we trim the fat and kill the politics. You know Scholastic Bully set up with his head. Talk about it live on the show called Ratchet Craig. We still have Craig make the announcements. If you're showing any folly, then you bouncing. James Cassel kicking ass if you remember. Now you understand why he's the number one contender. This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us. This is Sauce now. Taking over the game, put it on padlock. With a better roster, sickness of way the lobster. Let them niggas hate, but revenge will never stop us.
Yeah. Hold up, man. Yeah. We in the building, man. Source in the building. It's about to go down, right? For those that don't know, my name is Jeremiah. Please say the Yah. I am the Source Debate League champion, right? And I want to welcome you all to a Texas shootout, right? Right? Here we go. This is what it's all about, family. This is what it's all about. This is when your hands get sweaty, your palms get sweaty, right? We're about to see one of the most controversial topics in the Hebrew Israelite community and in the conscious community. They want to know, did Moses exist? Well, we're about to find out tonight, man. We are about to find out tonight. We have another great one. The east side bracket of the tournament. This is the Final Four, and you win or you go home. Somebody is catching a body tonight, right? So we got an esteemed panel on board. Now I'm going to go around the room and introduce these brothers, right? All right, so first guest that we got in the building, we got a special guest judge, Mighty Hebrew, the Prince. Talk to us, family. Mighty Hebrew, you there?
Hallelujah. 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 First and foremost, I give all praise and honor to Yahweh, the supreme, intelligent, powerful one of our forefathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, those striving for righteousness' sake all over the planet Earth. I say unto the family, Shalom Aleichem. It's definitely an honor and a privilege to be here amongst such great scholars that's going to be performing tonight. We have a great judge seat here, myself, G Consciousness, and Brother Garfield. And it's very interesting how we have one that's a Christian, one that's a Hebrew Israelite, sovereign national, and one that's, you know, some people put him in the Afrocentric paradigm, but Garfield is Garfield, you know what I'm saying? And the point that I'm saying is this: you have three scholars that's going to be judging this matter. So we're going to listen to how it's presented, and we're going to give rightful judgment. It don't matter if you're Israelite, a Christian, Pan-African, Nuwabic, whatever the case may be, into Egyptology, whatever is presented and whatever stands is going to stand tonight. So for each opponent, don't underestimate each's talents. Better watch for the strengths and the weaknesses and proceed on. Or hopefully, if y'all was able to dig into the crates and look at previous discussions from each opponent, then you get a better understanding of who you're dealing with. So we're going to sit here, we're going to listen attentively, and we're going to bring forth proper judgment. Hallelujah. Hebrew Israelite sovereign nationalism rising worldwide.
That's right, man. I appreciate you, man, being in the building, man, right? Appreciate you being in the building. All right, man, the next special guest judge we got in the building, man. Garfield, talk to us, family.
Hey, I'm ready, man. I'm here to see all the information and to judge based on the information that's presented tonight. I don't care how anybody feels about the issue. We're going to go with the info and the info only. That's all I'm doing. All right? Peace.
That's right. Right. Last but not least, man, we got our brother G Consciousness in the building. Talk to us, family.
What's going on? Grace and peace to the family, to the audience listening in. Shout out to Yermi Yah and the debate league, and also shout out to the judges. Appreciate the wise and also encouraging words from the brother Mighty Hebrew. Done a lot of work with the brother Mighty Hebrew as well as the brother Garfield. Happy to be on the panel with these brothers. You know what I'm saying? Uplifting brothers. And with that being said, for the debaters tonight, man, you know, come with your sources, you know, do what you're supposed to do. And tonight we're going to get a winner tonight, you know what I'm saying, based upon good judgment. Grace and peace, family.
That's right, man. That's right. We want to dispel all rumors, right? We want to dispel all doubters, right? Here at the source, right, we are bringing forth scholarship without bias, right? So I've reached out to some prominent brothers in the community, right, so that they can come on and bear witness to the non-biased scholarship that goes on here at the source. It was very important to me, man, and to the Sourced Up Click, that this platform, right, you'll come in here, whoever you are, and you're gonna get a fair opportunity to present your information, man, right? But understand this is the source. So a source up or shut up, man. You know, either way, right? So it's all about the information, right? So hold up, family. Got too many in here. I gotta get my brother Craig in here. So I had to boot somebody off. Kansu, hang back, man. Right?
I'm right here, yo.
Okay, come. Yes. Without further ado, man, I'm gonna turn it over to the Michael Buffer.
That's Baba Khan. That's Baba Kansu.
Yeah. Shout out to Kansu, man. All right, so without further ado,
Okay.
our brother Michael Buffer of the Source, Craig, The floor is
Shalom,
yours.
shalom, Baba. Shalom, Baba.
Shalom, King. Shalom.
Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a classic Texas shootout between two legends of Houston, coming in with his gas mask, poisoning everyone, coming in ferociously, scandalously, and with his diamonds gleaming. I introduce the terrible Texas Rattlesnake and the Intercontinental Champion, the King Heretic himself, King Seth. Now his opponent, the OG with the snapback, a man that cuts down anyone with a ferocious argument of accurate intensity. I give you the one, the only, the legendary clout collector, the only James Cassel.
All right, family. So we got the Intercontinental Champion in the building. We got the #1 contender in the building. It's about to go down. James Cassel is going to be jumping out there first. This is how it's going to go. Three 15-minute rounds, right? Then there will be a question and answer segment with 3 questions apiece, right? Then we're going to the people watching. We want to hear from you. Get involved, right? By casting your vote. Then we immediately go into the judges after that. So without further ado, James Cassel, let me know when you're ready and I will start your time.
All right, let me know when my screen's sharing.
All right. Got you.
All right, cool. First, I want to give all praise to the Most High. And today we're going to be looking through history to see if we can find evidence of the man we call Moses. Now, I know that my proponents and a lot of the people on here watching right now think that there is no evidence whatsoever that can be found to show Moses. But what I want to show is that if we use proper methodology, that if we look deeply and we take the hints from the Bible, not only, but also history and what people have said in history, that we will find a lot of coincidences, which I think add up to an accumulative argument to show that Moses did, in fact, exist. All right, first, we're going to be dealing with source criticism. I'm just going over this basic methodology stuff so everyone can have it in their mind throughout the debate. All right, in source criticism, you have what you call higher criticism and lower criticism. Mainly in this debate, I'm going to be focusing on higher criticism. When was the source written or unwritten produced? Where was it produced? By whom it was produced? And from what pre-existing material was it produced? All right. Also in here, we're going to have to talk about a little bit about oral traditions, because people like to ride off oral traditions as if there's not a historical methodology that you use in regards to dealing with oral traditions. And I think the Bible meets that, because if we look at it on the textual criticism level and just using Proto-Isaiah speaks towards things that Moses had done. And when you look at that and you see that, then you know at least 700 BCE range, you have evidence. But then you have an oral tradition that sits on top of that. You see, and that's why we have to know the methodology for looking at an oral tradition. All right, the broad conditions are the tradition should be supported by an unbroken series of witnesses, reaching from the immediate and first report of the fact to the living immediate witnesses from whom we take it up, or to the one who was the first to commit it to writing. Now, we know that there was a priesthood in ancient Israel. No one would try to argue that. Scholars wouldn't argue against that priesthood. And that priesthood was custodians of the oral tradition in regards to who helped found the nation of Israel in regards to it becoming a nation. A second thing in the broader conditions is there should be several parallel and independent series of witnesses testifying to the fact in question. Now, what we have to realize is the Bible is not a work that's written by one individual. It's written by multiple individuals. And not only in the Bible, starting in the fourth century, late 4th century, you have even Greek historians mentioning Moses. In the 1st century, you have Manetho, who, as quoted by Josephus, mention him. So we do have this multiple attestations to it. Particular conditions formulated. The tradition must report a public event of importance, such as would necessarily be known directly to a great number of persons. Now we know that Moses is supposed to have gotten the commandments from Sinai, the Exodus with the miracles attributed to it, helping the people of Israel get up out of the land of Egypt. These are all significant and important events in the history of a people that would make it necessary for them to remember it. The tradition must have been generally believed at least for a definite period of time. And from what we see, even like I said, if we deal with Khirbet Kiafa and we look in the archaeology and look at the bones where we see there's no pig bones in certain sites, we see that there's things that are purported to be from Moses in play and in effect shortly after he would have ceased. During a definite period, it must have been done without protest, even from persons interested in denying it. We have no sources that challenge the Israelites on their history until we start dealing with contemporary scholars. So I think that stands up. One thing I will say that the tradition must be more relatively limited duration. Like they like to say 150 years. I don't think the oral tradition, we can have it to 150 years, but that's dealing more with precise things. But in dealing with a person who founded a movement or a quote unquote religion or cultural practice, I think you can extend that a bit. And I'm going to give more evidence that's going to show that, you know, not having an oral tradition of 150 years really won't matter. The critical spirit must have been significantly developed while the tradition lasted, and the necessary means of critical investigation must have been at hand. And that's pretty much what I'm going to exemplify here today. Critical minded persons who would surely have challenged the tradition had they considered it false must have made no such challenge. And again, until we get to dealing with contemporary scholars, we really don't have any challenges to the history of the Israelites. I mean, even when you look at Tacitus and many others, they try to give a person to whom Moses would have been back in ancient Egypt. All right. The criterion of embarrassment. I bring this up because we know Moses is famous for not being able to go into Israel because of his anger. He is also famous for being a murderer. So these two things being infused into it brings up the criterion of embarrassment, because this is the great founding person. You wouldn't want to do anything to embarrass him. If you wanted to just make up a mythological figure, you would make him perfect and without error. But I put this in here because I want to be open and honest about the limitations of using the criterion of embarrassment. The criterion of embarrassment has its limitation and is almost always used in concert with other criteria. One limitation to the criteria of embarrassment is that clear-cut cases of such embarrassment are few. A full portrait of Jesus could never be based on a little data. Clearly, context is important, as what might be considered an embarrassing in one era or social context may not have been so in another. Embarrassing details may be included as an alternative to an even more embarrassing account of the same event. And I'm just saying that because, again, I see no reason for a person being a murderer not being an embarrassing account in any era. I don't see a person whose anger stopped them from getting the promise of their people. I don't see how that wouldn't not be embarrassment in any era. And this is from the source John P. Mayer, A Marginal Jew, Yale University Press, 2009, page 170. And this is the historical reasoning I'm going to be using mainly, especially in round two, is appeal to the best explanation. Because I think the best explanation of the evidence that I'm going to present is going to be that Amenmesse is indeed Moses. All right. Historical reason appeal to the best explanation. The statement, together with other statements already held to be true, must imply yet other statements describing present observable data. We will henceforth call the first statement the hypothesis, and the statements describing observable data observation statements. The hypothesis must be of greater explanatory scope than any other incompatible hypothesis at the same about the same subject. That is, it must imply a greater variety of observation statements. And that's what I think I'm going to bring to this debate that King Seth ain't going to be able to. Because King Seth is just going to be out here trying to convince y'all to believe that he wasn't a real person. But I'm going to be presenting real observable statements, observable data, empirical data that will help and show forth that this is true. The hypothesis must be of greater explanatory power than any other incompatible hypothesis of the same subject. We went over that. The hypothesis must be more plausible than any other incompatible hypothesis about the same subject. And again, I'm holding up that my hypothesis on this will be far more plausible than anything King Seth can try to throw at it. That is, it must be implied to some degree by a greater variety of accepted truths than any other, and be implied more strongly than any other, and its probable negation must be implied by fewer beliefs and implied less strongly than another, which means I'm not going to be just making stuff up as I go. It's going to be evidence that I'm showing to back it up. I'm not stretching the truth to imply things. Going forward, the hypothesis must be less ad hoc than any other incompatible hypothesis of the same subject, which is something we find typical with people oppose it. They start telling you stuff that they think in the moment to just throw back at you. But my stuff is going to be well thought through and organized to show forth what I'm saying. That is that it must include fewer new suppositions about the past, which are already implied to some extent by existing beliefs. And that's why I'm going to be bringing the sources to show that in the past this was said. I'm not just making it up. It must be disconfirmed by fewer accepted beliefs than any other incompatible hypothesis about the same subject. That is, when conjoined with accepted truths, it must imply fewer observation statements and other statements than are believed to be false, which means, like I said, my source is going to show I'm bringing truth. It must exceed other incompatible hypotheses about the same subject by so much in characteristic 2 to 6 that there is little chance of incompatible hypothesis after further investigation soon exceeding it in these respects, which pretty much is saying that the evidence needs to pretty much overwhelm the incompatible hypothesis evidence that King Seth will be bringing forth. All right, the first thing I want to bring forth is to show a migration of archaeology from one area to another. And we're going to start here in ancient Egypt with the 4-bedroom houses. Deir el Medina houses consist of 4 to 5 rooms comprising an entrance, main room, 2 smaller rooms, kitchen with cellar, and a staircase leading to the roof. And this is from Ancient Egypt by Oakes and Lucian Gallin, page 176, 177, published in 2006. All right, now we're going to deal with ancient Israel. And this is from the 4-bedroom house embodying Iron Age Israelite society. This was from the University of Chicago Press Journals, Near Eastern Archaeology, volume 66, published in June in 2003. It says the 4-bedroom house was the typical dwelling in the southern Levant during the Iron Age. Its widespread use both in time and space raises many questions about its origins, its functions, and most intriguingly about who lived in it. Did the 4-room house form that quintessentially Israelite home? The authors believe the answer to this question is yes. And there you see my source. All right, now we have to deal with the Proto-Sinaitic script, right? Because we know that this was developed in Egypt by Semitic people speaking Semitic speaking people who use Egyptian hieroglyphs to make depictions of their characters. And it says the evolution of the Proto-Sinaitic and the various Proto-Canaanite scripts during the Bronze Age is based on rather scant epigraphic evidence. It is only with the Bronze Age collapse and the rise of new Semitic kingdoms in the Levant that the Proto-Canaanite is clearly attested, like in the Byblos inscriptions, which are Israelite inscriptions, and the Khirbet Kiafa inscriptions, which are Israelite inscriptions. And this is the Khirbet Kiafa Astrakhan right here on the screen. All right, this one right here is from Douglas Petrovic. Not gonna lie, personally, I was hesitant about bringing this forth, but I kept doing the research and I found nothing on a linguistic level to refute it. So until it is refuted, I will hold fast to what I believe is probable contemporary evidence for Moses. And this right here says, our bound servitude had lingered. Moses then provoked astonishment. It is a year of astonishment because of the lady. And that's what it says. This is Sinai 361, the Moses inscription, and by Douglas Petrovic. This was published in Hebrew, the first alphabet, in 2016. All right, and I'm gonna bring this up right here, and then after this, I'm gonna yield the mic because I'm pretty much gonna be done with my round. This is right here is dealing with a little bit of dynasty confusion when you're dealing with the 18th and 19th dynasties, because some people seen them overlapping, especially in the latter years of the 18th and the earlier years of the 19th dynasty.
Remaining.
Okay, no problem. As the latter of the 18th dynasty was counted, as the 19th, seeing them as 348 years plus 194 years by Eusebius, or 393 years plus 149 years by Josephus and Africanus, which is a secular person. And this is sources from the Transactions of the Royal Irish Academy, volume 24, parts 2 through 5, Royal Irish Academy from 2015. And I yield the mic there. Hallelujah.
Yo. All right. Man. That Moses stone, though. Okay. Okay. I see what's going on here. All right, King Seth, man. Look, you got some explaining to do, mister. Right? And I hope you ready to dive into your first round, man. Listen, for everybody that's watching, yo, hit the like button, man. Subscribe. Feel me? Share the video, man. Show some love to the source, right? As we continue to build and bring forth scholastic arguments, scholastic debates, right? Show some love and support for the channel, man. And for those on Facebook, share the video, man. Right? King Seth, are you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm trying to show my screen right now. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to show the screen right now, bro. You see my screen?
I see it.
All right, hold on. All right, what we ain't gonna do, man, we ain't gonna play no all right, here we go. What we ain't gonna do is we not gonna play no semantics with words. That's what we're not gonna do, y'all. So look, this is a Moses. King Seth will show through contemporary and primary sources that the Exodus is a historical fiction. Exodus is a historical fiction. Therefore, Moses is a historical fictional character. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right, bet. Let me go to this one. All right, let's start with some definitions. Myth. A symbolic narrative, usually of unknown origin and at least partly traditional, to ostensibly relates actual events and that especially associated with religious beliefs. It is distinguished from the symbolic behavior, cult, ritual, and symbolic places and objects. Templates and myths are specific accounts of gods and superhuman beings involved in extraordinary events or circumstances in a time that is unspecified, but which is understood as existing part of ordinary human experience. The term mythology denotes, let me blow this up. Denotes both the study. Now let's see what Mesopotamian religion says. The literature of the survived Mesopotamian. Oh man, I'm doing something. The literature of the survived from the Mesopotamia was written within primary stone and clay tablets. The production of the presentation of within documents were in the possibility and responsibility of scribes who were associated with the templates, with the temples of the place, and the sharp distinction cannot be made between religious and secular writings. The function of the temple food distribution was centered between that's a little nothing. Okay. Accounts of victories and kings often were associated with the favor of gods and written in praise of gods. The gods were also involved in the establishment and enforcement of treaties within political powers. This is the definition of myth. Let's go to this one right here. No, not that one. Let's see. Is it this one? No, it's this one. Book right here. What is a euphemism? A euphemism is a myth. Euphemism is an approach to the interpretation of mythology in which his mythological accounts are presumed to have originated from real historical events or personages. I need y'all to remember this definition. Euphemism supposes that the historical accounts become. Hold on, let me blow this up so y'all can read with me. Become myths as they are exaggerated in retelling, accumulating elaborations and alterations that reflect cultural mores. It was named for the Greek mythographer Euhemerus, who lived in the late 4th century, such as the Belfinches. Mythology euphemism within term in the historical theory of mythology. Let's go to the next one. Okay, y'all see my source of Britannica. I use Britannica because it summarizes what I need to say. If you know what to look for in Britannica, then you know how to summarize what you need to say. It's called mythology, like people say. Now watch this. The particular euphemism was fashionable among the church fathers, the religious teachers of the early church, as an account of paganism. On the pagan side, there were persistent attempts to justify popular cults and myths by the extensive use of allegory, a technique well adopted. Okay, now let's go to this one right here. Let's switch it up. Okay, who used these euphemisms? Okay, we're gonna start right here with the blue interpretation. Let's see right here. We're gonna start at the top. Let's start at the top and let's read. Let's get some, you know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to insult our people around here. You understand? We're not going to insult black people and act like they stupid around this count. What we're going to do is we're going to read and we're going to make sure that our people understand what a euphemism is a myth. Interpretation of a myth was a euphemism named after a Greek writer who flourished about 300 BC, according to which certain gods were originally great people, venerated because of their what? Benefactions and humankind. The early church fathers adopted an attitude of modified euphemism, according to which the classical mythology was to be explained in the terms of mere men who had been raised to superhuman demonic status because of their demons. By these means, Christians were able to incorporate myths from culturally. It means, okay, let's go to the side right here. I finished it over here. This means Christians were able to incorporate myths from culturally authoritative pagan past into Christian framework while diffusing their religious significance. These gods became ordinary humans, and Middle Ages did not develop the theological perspective on myth, nor despite some elaborate works of historical and etymology erudition did the Renaissance. In both periods, interpretations in terms of allegory and euhemerisms tended to predominate. So let's go to this one right here, man. Let's go to this one. Okay, bet. Since now we know what a myth and a euhemerism is, let's go to your boy Moses. Moses. Let's see. Hebrew prophet, teacher, the leader who 13th century BCE or delivered the people from Egyptian slavery in the covenant ceremony. Okay, prolonged. He founded the religious community known as Israel as the interpreter of these covenant stipulations. He was an organizer of community, religious, and civil traditions and Judaic tradition. He is revered as the greatest prophet and teacher. Okay, that's Moses. Let's go right here. Where's the only place that we can find Moses? This great person. Where's the only place that we can find Moses? It's in the biblical narrative. In the Bible. This is the only place we can find this man. Okay, so if we're going to do some research on Moses, where's the first place that we're going to start? We must start in the Bible. Because this is what Moses began. You understand? So let's start first account. Exodus, hold on. Let me beam this up like Scotty. You understand? Moses was born in Bill. Okay, let's see. Exodus 2:21. And there went a man in the house of Levi and took to the wife of the daughter of Levi, and the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him, that he was a goodly child, and hid him for 3 months. Okay, now let's read the commentary at the bottom. Born to the super nation, but was an alien, oppressed race doing it. Such. Okay, we know that. All right, let's go. Let's go to Exodus 6:20. And Abram took to Jared his father and sister and wife, and she bare him Aaron and Moses. And the years of the life of Aaron of Amram were 130 and 37. Okay, now this is Moses. Now we know that in the biblical narrative he is being born, but nowhere else can we find this guy. We can only find this guy in the Bible. So let's keep going in the Bible. So let's see his story. You understand me? Let's see his story. By faith, let's go to the last one over to the left. Let's blow it up. By faith, Moses, when he was born, he was hid 3 months in his parents because they saw he was a proper child and they were not afraid of the king's commandment. You see what I'm saying? God's what it say? God describes the faith of Moses' parents as being beautiful. All right, yay. You know what I'm saying? But boy, Moses, he was a righteous dude. He was A to the A1 Yota. He was. Okay, let's keep going. Moses' story begins being placed in the Nile, and Pharaoh's daughter finds him. Okay. Now this is the story, and I don't want to spend too much on this slide because we all know that his mama finds him in the Nile. I mean, his mama places him in the Nile. Pharaoh's daughter finds him. She brings him from the Pharaoh, and she says, "This is your grandson." And Pharaoh turns around like, "Yeah, okay, cool. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here." That man did not say cool. He did not say, "This is my grandson." After I just told you to throw the babies in the water, and you come with a baby, you gonna tell me that Pharaoh is that stupid not to know that this is a Hebrew baby that his daughter is trying to save? And you just come with a dry baby who in royalty does that. Okay, let's skip that. I'm done with that part. Let's move on. Okay, we got more than one. We got more than one Moses. Huh? We got straight mode Moses. What? Hold on. So y'all mean to tell me the only place we find Moses is in the Bible, but Strabo got him? Who is Strabo? Let's go to Strabo. Strabo, the 620 BC Greek geographer, philosopher, and historian from Turkey. Let's see what he's saying. He said, according to the Greek historian, let's blow this up, man, so people can see what, so they won't think I'm tripping. You understand me? According to the Greek historian Strabo, Moses wasn't a miracle worker and he didn't speak to God. He was just a philosopher who sat down and thought about it and decided that monotheism made the most sense. Moses at the time was the ruler of Lower Egypt, but he was dissatisfied with the with the established institution in his own country. God, he believed, could not be a man or an animal, but had to be one thing, and which encompassed us all. Let's see what else he's saying. He was convinced. Let's go to the next one. He was convinced of this, that he gave up his position and led a group of people out of Egypt to start their own country. These people weren't slaves, and this wasn't a revolution. They were, according to Strabo, right-minded people who agreed with Moses' philosophy, and nobody tried to stop them from leaving. Moses and his people made it to Jerusalem, which they did not have to conquer. It was, according to Strabo, surrounded by barren and water territory. So nobody wanted it. There he set the lax religion. With Moses after let's go to the top over here. And nations willingly joined them. After Moses' death, though Jerusalem had taken over the superstitious persons who introduced the kosher diet and circumcision ideas that Strabo claims went completely against everything that Moses taught. This is Strabo's Moses. This is one Moses out the Bible. Oh, this is another one. Ah, man, hold on. What? Another one? We got another one? Or trapping us? I love his name. I love this brother name. That brother name, a trapping us. Like he just been a trapping. You know what I'm saying? I love this brother name. You know what I'm saying? His name is a trapping. I cover, and he's a Jew. This man is a Jew. You see what I'm saying? And he has another story about Moses. Moses, Egyptian war hero and code hero. I might read fast for y'all, but hopefully y'all can stay together. It say a trapping is Moses, Egyptian war hero and co-leader. Even the Jews had more than one version of the story of Moses. The Jewish historians or trappinists, I love that nigga name, had his own version of the story. And even though he was Jewish, it's completely different from the story in Exodus. Moses, according to a trappinist, he was raised by a son Shepherdes, king of Upper Egypt. Shepherdes thought Moses was his own son, but apparently the bond between father and son wasn't enough to keep Shepherdes from killing him.
You kind of choppy a little bit, man.
I got what?
You choppy a little bit. You better now. Come on with it.
Yahweh, hey.
All right, let's go. I bet let's go back to this one right here, the second one. Right here. Shepherdes sent Moses to lead his worst soldiers into unwinnable war against Ethiopia. Hoping Moses wouldn't die in battle. Moses, however, managed to conquer Ethiopia. He became a war hero across Egypt. He also declared the epic and sacred animal of the city started in the process.
Apology time. Is he choppy to anybody else, or is that my computer?
Yeah, I'm hearing him choppy too. I thought it was just me.
Yeah. So
you know what? This is Garfield. You know what you do, bro?
All right, can y'all hear me now?
No.
Kyng said. Can y'all hear me now?
Kyng said, it's Garfield. Listen to me. When you shout, it goes out. Just take it easy. Take it easy and do your thing. All right.
Okay, bet.
Right.
All right.
I'll start the clock back when
you're ready. All right, bet. Go. Now it's some Pharisees sent Moses to lead the worst soldiers into the unwinnable war against Ethiopia, hoping Moses would die in battle. Moses, however, managed to conquer Ethiopia. He began the war hero against Egypt. He also declared the ibis and sacred animal of the city, starting in the process and the first three religions he will found by the end of the story. Okay, let's go to the next one. He started the second religion when he made it back to Memphis, where he taught people how to use oxen in agriculture, and in the process started the code of Apis. He didn't get to enjoy the new code for long. His father started outright hiring people to assassinate him, and he had no choice but to leave Egypt. While in exile, he started his third religion. After God burst out of the earth and told him to invade Egypt. Moses obeyed, and in the process freed the Jews. Now see this right here. This is how many stories is this? This is Tacitus. We got Tacitus' story. He's an exile atheist. You see what I'm saying? With Tacitus. But in Tacitus is referring to him and Josephus and Menetheo. You see what I'm saying? So Josephus Flavius is going back, is reverting back to Menetheo. And Tacitus is reverting back to Menetheo. Now, this is 4 stories right here that we have of this so-called Moses. Now, scholarly debate, let's see the Exodus. Now, see, let's go all the way over. Now, the Egyptian, now I have 1 minute remaining. Now, the simple, now, okay, Now, see, this is the Exodus history. Let's go to the other. Whether the religious history of Moses, who led his people to initiate the monotheistic understanding of the divine, is unknown. Individual belief would dictate whether one accepts the historical Moses regards him as a mythical figure more than any historical evidence or lack of evidence. Either way, the figure Moses has cast along a shadow, the monotheism that he credited and introduced to the further of development. So what scholars are saying, whether he was a real person or not, whether you take his beliefs or not, and you lose it, it don't matter if he was real or not, that you have to stop believing. Just because he's a myth, just because he's an humoricism, just because he's a humoricism, you don't have
Time. Woo! Okay, well, damn, it's multiple Moseses out here, man. I mean, James Cassel, I mean, you gonna have to address that, man. Multiple Moses. Okay. All right, family. All right, for those that are watching, man, we appreciate you. Please hit the like button, right? And subscribe and share the video. All right. I want to take this opportunity to let you all know about the source. We do have these source t-shirts, right, that you can get with fringes, right, or without, right? So we also have the source t-shirts without. Man, listen, support the league, right? Also with my company, Garments of Vengeance, we have these new 12 Tribe Rising t-shirts that you can get with the hats, right? Israelite or nothing, right, with the menorah on the side. And you can also get your name on the back, all right? So I just want to let y'all know that if you have a business or a company you can promote at a site called Bruce Street Marketplace, you can find them on Instagram, all right? So we're going to keep this thing moving. Brother James Cassel, are you ready?
Yeah, man, I'm ready, man. This guy's crazy, man. I'm ready.
Yo, man.
All right.
Fire, man. You know
let me know when my screen sharing, man. Right. And then you can start my time, man.
All right. Let's go, man. Let's go. Highly anticipated debate here, right? Your screen is up, brother.
All right. Before I get into the second part right here, I want to go over a couple things the brother said. He in his myth explanation, he says that it does include real events that get mythologized. So if it's a real event that took place, that means a real person did it. So I don't see how that defeats that of Moses exists. The euhemerism point, no one is trying to make Moses into a god. He's just a regular human being to us. As far as him with his Britannica sources, man, this brother gonna have to do better than that, man. That's all I gotta say to that. And he said, when did the adopting of servant kids take place? That started with Tutmosis III in the 18th dynasty. You should look it up and study what you purport to be, what you study. I mean, you didn't even know that. I thought you would have known that. Let's see if there's anything else. I'm gonna go. Oh, and he threw me an alley-oop with talking about Josephus and all them, because it ain't like it's two different Moses. It's just different stories about the same person. You know, every time you get a story from someone, it ain't gonna be just what the scriptures say. That's why you have Josephus. Josephus goes into a bunch of history way more in deep than the scriptures ever go into concerning things. I mean, that's what he's there for. That's why he's our historian. That's why we reference him. That's why you even had to reference him. But anyway, let's get on to Rameses II. All right, this right here starts with recognizing that the Pithom and Ramesses storehouses being built is not an anachronism, at least on my model. It's not an anachronism. So therefore, in Exodus 1:1, when it says, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramesses. This is actual history that they're saying. Ramesses was the Pharaoh at the time in which Moses was pulled out of the water. Next, we're going to deal with Takhat. All right. She was the mother of Amenmesse. She bore two titles in her lifetime. One of them is king's daughter, or as the Bible says, daughter of the Pharaoh. The other one she held later on in life was the wife of the Pharaoh because she married Merneptah. She is identified with Takhat, the daughter of Rameses II, who is mentioned on the Olivar Ostrakon. Thus, she was the aunt of Seti II. But since she was among the youngest of Ramses' children, she was likely around the same age as Seti II, who was Ramses' grandson. And again, she married Merneptah. And this is from the Complete Royal Families of Ancient Egypt, page 180 through 182. All right. Now we're gonna deal with Seti II. Now that we see who pulled Moses up out the water, we're gonna deal with Seti II, which would have been an adversarial person to Amenmesse. And since King Seth brought it up, I might as well talk. He said, "Who wants to be out there? Who cares about Canaan? Nobody wants that area. Nobody." Seti was off doing war in that area, and that's how Amenmesse came up to the throne of Egypt, because he usurped it at a time when Seti was gone doing war, taking that land. You saying nobody won't? I'm just so surprised you're a man who practiced Mayat don't know nothing about Egyptian history. This is throwing me in a loop. Right here, evidence that Amenmesse was a direct contemporary with Seti II's rule rather than Seti II's immediate predecessor includes the fact that Seti II's royal tomb, KV-15 tomb at Thebes, was deliberately vandalized, with many of Seti's royal names being carefully erased during his reign. So during the reign of Amenmesse, all of Seti's tombs was vandalized. Now, something to be important that I must also bring. Some people argue that Amenmesse never rightfully became king, and Seti was always rightfully king. But this even will build out more as I go on further, and we deal more with Amenmesse. And the source for this is the decorative phases of the tombs of Setos II and their historical implications, on page 136 to 138. All right, now we're gonna get to what Seth brought up. You know that Moses went down in the Kush. Well, Amenmesse was a visitor down in Kush. He was responsible for going down there, raging war and conquering that region. All right, so this is from was Amenmesse the viceroy of Kush? Moses, all right, or Messus, as they but Messus was appointed viceroy of Kush in the year 5 of Merneptah and followed I don't even know how to say that, in office. Moses added many inscriptions to temples and sites in Nubia, including Amada, Aksha, Amara, Temple of Beit El Wadi, Wadi Es Suba, Beige Island. So there is contemporary sources, references and writings about Amenmesse, or this Moses as he went by when he was there, all throughout Kush. So we can't say he wasn't there. All right, going on, and this right here, Moses, Amada, and Amenmesse. This is from the Journal of American Research Center in Egypt, volume 34, published in 1997, pages 41 through 48. Viceroy Moses, taking on a royal role in an addition of a Uranus to the brow of Moses' depictions in the Temple of Amada, identifies him with Amenmesse, because again, Amenmesse usurped the throne, or at least attempted to. All right, now let's deal with Moses being in Kush, because he mentioned Josephus, and that's who I got this from. All right. Now, when the Egyptian army, and he talked about Moses going down there, going to war. Now, when the Egyptian army had tasted of the prosperous success by the means of Moses, they did not slacken their diligence, insomuch that the Ethiopians were in danger of being reduced to slavery and all sorts of destruction. And at length, they tired to Saba, which was the royal city of Ethiopia, which Cambyses afterwards named Meroe, after the naming of his own sister. This place was to be besieged with very great difficulty, since it was both encompassed by the Nile quite around and other rivers Astapus and Astaborus, made it a very difficult thing for such as attempt to pass over them, for the city is situated in a retired place. I'm going to just in the story, he goes on to talk about in the book of Asher, and I think Jubilees hits on a little bit how Moses, in order to get around serpents and everything that was at the stream, he used storks, pretty much. I think that's the right name of the bird, and they're pretty much known to eat serpents. So he used that in order to get around it. But I want to get to the main part, which is in the next part, right here with Tharbis. Tharbis was the daughter of the king of the Ethiopians. She happened to see Moses as he led the army near the walls and fought with great courage, and admiring the subtlety of his undertakings and believing him to be the author of the Egyptian success when they had before despaired of recovering their liberty, and to be the occasion of the great danger the Ethiopians were in, when they had before boasted of their great achievement, she fell deeply in love with him. So she seen my man up there going to war, and she got a little tingling feeling. You know what I'm saying? And upon the prevalence of that passion, sent to him the most faithful of all her servants to discourse with him about their marriage. He thereupon accepted the offer on condition she would procure the delivering up of the city, and gave her the assurance of an oath to take her to his wife, and that when he had once taken possession of the city, he would not break his oath to her. No sooner was the agreement made, but it took effect immediately. And when Moses had cut off the Egyptians, he gave thanks to God and consummated his marriage and led the Egyptians back to their own land. Now, they also go on to talk about how he married her and how he ruled down there for a while until the son he had by her came of age. And then the Ethiopians were like, we don't need him anymore. And then they got rid of him. And that's how Josephus explains to us Moses' Ethiopian wife. So this isn't another story. It's clarity. It's clarifying why Moses has had two wives, why he married Jethro's daughter, and then why Miriam was mad at him about the Cushite, who was actually a princess. All right. Now we're going to get into Papyrus Salt 124. All right, because everything that's going to be talked about in this papyrus, we're going to find out at the end that Moses, the same name he used when he was down in Egypt, was behind getting the person off of everything they were put up for. All right. Papyrus Salt 124 was written by Amenmesse. He describes himself as a workman and the son of the former chief Nefer. His brother, which is his adopted brother, Neferhotep, took over as the chief workman at the death of his father, and who was killed by quote unquote the enemy. All right. Amenmesse is actually accusing Neferhotep of this, and we'll see why as we go on. The first accusation lobbied against Peneb is the charge that he gave and have 5 of Neferhotep's servants, with the implication that this gift was to secure the position for him. So he bribed his way to become the chief workman. So that's the first accusation against him. So, and then the second was he swore under that Amenmesse swore under oath that Peneb was guilty of debauchery, all types of cases, even went as far as in one case to say that he raped someone. But it says he swore under oath that led to debauchery, including the instance of apathy himself took part. All the cases of debauchery were with married women, aside from one daughter who was also the woman apathy's debauched. The word serenity translate as debauched does not necessarily imply mutual consent. So it is ambiguous whether or not Peneb and apathy's actions could be classified as rape. However, it is made clear that Peneb violated a woman by force at least once, though this is Amenmesse's assertion not Apathes, when he took a woman named Yemenwa's clothing, threw her on top of a wall, and violated her. All right, so this is Peneb. This is what this man doing. While Peneb was accused of excessive crimes by Takhat, the various charges of embezzlement, misuse of labor are particularly emphasized and appear to cause the most trouble that Peneb's run into. The first of Akhenat's charges outside of those directly relates to Akhenat's political interests deal with Peneb's theft of the tomb of Seti, including the covering of Seti's chariot, storehouses from the tomb, 5 doors through 4, though 4 were found later. Now remember, Amenmesse was known to be defacing Seti's stuff. So it's looking like, especially when we get towards the end, we're gonna see that Moses had an accomplice, man. Peneb took an oath saying, "I did not upset a stone in the neighborhood of the palace of the Pharaoh." In addition to the forward theft, Peneb is resorting to misappropriation labor and other resources for his own ends. According to Amenmesse, Peneb ordered his stone workers not only to steal stone from the work site of Seti II, but to use this stone to build columns for his personal tomb. In one case, he not only ordered his workers to make a plated bed, but made their wives weave clothing for him. Peneb, he wrote charges that would make, Akhenat wrote charges that make Peneb seem like a madman, as Akhenat most definitely saw him. As part of this, there are many charges that portray Peneb as an angry, emotionally unstable chief workman, which he may well been. Akhenat even pits the former workman's Peneb, Neferhotep against Peneb, stating that Peneb chased after Neferhotep, the man who was killed, smashed open doors, this is his adopted father's, when Neferhotep hid in a room and threatened to kill him. No, he didn't. Neferhotep against Peneb. Oh, I'm getting some feedback. I'm getting some feedback. Somebody mute their mic. The man who was killed, smashed open doors.
Let me see. Hold up. Pause your time.
Pause my time.
Pause.
And threatened to kill him. No, he didn't. Neferhotep against Peneb. Oh, I'm getting some feedback. I'm getting some feedback. Somebody mute their mic.
I got it. All right, Salakia, you got 1 minute left.
Okay, I got 1 minute. That's good because this is my last slide on this anyway. All right, now remember, Neferhotep was the one who got murdered, though he did not kill him. Instead, beat 9 men over the course of one night. This apparently led Neferhotep's complaining to the Vizier at the time, Amenmesse. Now this ain't Amenmesse, this is Amenmesse, who attempted to punish Peneb, only to be fired when Peneb complained directly to the pharaoh at the time, Amenmesse. Now we know that in our culture, if you're an accomplice of someone who commits a crime, you are guilty of that crime. Now, it looks like to me that he got accomplished. Now, though his confrontation with Neferhotep is perhaps the most strongly related to Amenmesse's ambition, there are other instances of violent outbursts. In one instance, he told the other chief workman that he was going to attack and kill him, though the absence of any further explanation in what was going in the papyrus indicates nothing came of the threat. Peneb was acquitted of all charges by Moses, or as they say, Amenmesse. And I yield the mic.
Done. Hey. All right, man. Source up or shut up. That's what the game is all about, man. I hope you judges are paying attention to what's going on and the parallels and the connections. And for those that are watching, I hope you are paying attention because we want to hear from you. All right. We definitely want this to be an interactive environment. All right. So, King Seth, are you ready? We are at the bottom of the second round. King Seth, are you there? You're on mute, Doc. All right, man. Let me see here. King Seth, let's go, man. It's your turn.
Damn, I've been right here telling you, come on. I've been right here talking on mute. Come on. Y'all ready?
Yeah, I see you pulled your screen up. It's all good,
Hey,
man.
hold on, let me pull my shit up now. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I got you.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Then we're gonna jump right into it. We're not finna talk about who Tom, Dick, and Harry. We're not finna talk about nobody else. We finna stick with the brother Moses. He wanna talk about P-Nab and all these other people. Now, we finna talk about Moses and splitting the Red Sea and freeing the people of the Jews. This is what we finna talk about. So stop playing and stop trying to finagle the people. You understand? Let's go to contemporary scholar Israel Frankenstein. Everybody know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Do I need to blow his up and use his credentials? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But hey, you can go back and look at it. But we finna say what he
Finkelstein, and you're glitching, bro.
Oh, no, I wasn't glitching. I was blowing up the screen.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I was blowing up the screen. Yeah, man, come on, man. You stop it, man. Oh, that's that Hebrew hate. There you go.
No, you was glitching, bro. You was glitching.
Yeah, you was breaking up too, also, brother. It's like when you start speaking fast, you break up a lot.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, my bad. I'm from Texas. My son.
Don't blame the Hebrews for your fault.
Let me talk slow for y'all. Well, let me talk slow for y'all. You understand? Okay, well, I'm going to try to read this fast, but I'm going to try to get y'all in it. Let's see what Israel Finkelstein says about the Exodus and the Bible on earth. But we're going to start right here. I'm going to blow the screen up, and we're going to start right here. In the Bible on earth, archaeologist Israel Frankenstein and Neil Asher serve to dispel any illusions that their digs of verify the story of Exodus. The process that we describe here is not, in fact, the opposite of what we have in the Bible. The emergence of early Israel was an outcome of collapse of Canaanite culture, not its cause. And most of the Israelites did not come from outside of Canaan.
Am I tripping or is he breaking up? He's breaking up.
Nah, we all hearing it. We all hearing it.
You breaking up bad, brother. It seemed like when you start speaking fast, your mic ain't picking it up like it should, and so it's breaking up.
It's really about his volume. When you start talking louder, yeah.
All right, well, let me lower my octave then. Okay, we're gonna start right here. There was no mass exodus from Egypt. There was no violent conquest of Canaan. Most of the people who formed early were local people, and some people whom we see in the highlands throughout the Bronze and Iron Age. The early Israelites were irony of ironies themselves, originally Canaanites. The Bible unearthed. Let's see. Let's go over and see what their conclusion was. We're gonna go right here. I'm gonna blow it up. Their conclusion was a severe blow to those that believed that Moses had been a real person. But the question of the prophet's existence, whether he was indeed a flawed flesh and blood man or a fictional character forced to jump through a character's hoops in which a thorny one, not easily dismissed or the answer. The biblical story of the great man is full of contradictions and puzzles. Unlike the story of Joseph, which has a discernible beginning, a middle, and an end, Moses' narrative is scattered and disjointed. At first, he are led to believe that he is the first child, only to be revealed that later he has older siblings. We're told that he was adopted by an Egyptian princess, but no details of his childhood are offered. The only account of his death are sketchy. And we say at least that no one knows the amounts of living. This troubling mystery has led some scholars to doubt his existence. Because we cannot put that together. Let's go to another contemporary scholar. This is I'm trying to save time because I'm trying to get to I'm on my second I'm supposed to be at least 4 slides up. So this is another contemporary scholar talking about this is Neil Silberman, and he's talking about what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna paraphrase. He's talking about that the Exodus and the things that could have been found in the Exodus are not there. They're supposed to be there if they're gonna be any evidence of it. Him and this guy here, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Israel Frankenstein is saying that there is no evidence of this conquest. Okay. Now let's go to the problems with the biblical narrative. Unfortunately, this is dealing with the pharaohs. Unfortunately, the name of the king is not given. The scholars have disagreed in this identity. Hence, the name of the events narrative of Moses. One theory, literally, statement of the first king 6:1 that the exodus from Egypt occurred 480 years before Solomon began building the temple of Jerusalem. This occurred before the hence of the year of the reign of 960. Therefore, the exodus would date about 1440. Archaeological evidence. The storage set up at built with the pharaohs of the Hebrews were located in northeastern Egyptian and Delta, not far from Goshen, the district where the Hebrews lived. It is implicated that the whole story of the pharaoh's place, that the capital was there, but Thutmose III, the pharaoh of 1440, had a capital in Thebes, far from the south. And never conducted major building operations in the Delta. Moreover, Edom and Moab are petty kingdoms. Let's go over to this right here so we can see who properly was the Pharaoh. Inasmuch as the tradition figured that the 12th generation from Moses to Solomon, the reference of 480 years most likely, an editorial comment allowing 40 years of each generation since the actual generation of near 25 years of the most probable date of exit is about 1290 BC. If this is true, then the oppressive Pharaoh noted in the Exodus was Seti the first. Okay, so I say that to say this. Therefore, no Exodus, no Moses. If that was no Exodus, then that was no Moses. Which Pharaoh reigned? Seti the one, or was it Ramses the second? Let's see. Let's go to Genesis right here. Let's go to Genesis 47:11. Let's blow this up. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them the possession in the land of Egypt and the best land in the land of Ramses and the Pharaoh had commanded. In the well, he gave them the best land. Well, in the land of Ramses. Okay, bet 47:11 Exodus. Now let's go over. Let's read. See, this is called side-by-side analysis. This is what you do. You take this, and you put it side by side and see if it match up. Now, write this. Regardless what source of the narrative derived from, it clearly clashes with the tradition recorded of Genesis 47:11, usually assigned to P, namely that the Hebrews inhabited the land of Ramses, which they first arrived in Egypt. Apparently, this also means that the events emerging from 47:11. Genesis 47:11 would have occurred much earlier than those of Exodus 1:8-12, and thus chronologically generations. Therefore, the action of Exodus 1 and 8, when the Pharaoh of Joseph's day had passed, the children of Jacob had multiplied extensively by hundreds of tens of thousands. Put differently, how? How could Joseph and Jacob's sons have settled the lands of Ramses in Genesis 47:11 before its city was founded, allegedly, by subsequent generations of Jacob's offspring and under the Pharaoh's exodus? Come on, let's go. Now we already see that premise right there. Now let's go. Let's see. Hold on, man. Man, say, man, y'all got me wired up. All right. Now, okay. The homie Ramses, the big homie Ramses, he eliminated. He is not the father. Somebody been pimping the pen, James. Somebody been pimping the pen, James. Like you said in your last debate. Ramses is eliminated. We see Ramses is not the Pharaoh or Exodus. Let's see if it's Seti, like them people say, like you tried to say. Who is Seti? Let's go to Seti. Ancient Egyptian king of the 19th dynasty, 12 who reigned from 1290 to 1207. His father Rameses I, Rameses III, and his Seti, who was the real founder of the greatest of the Ramsar. Bet. Let's see some facts about the big homie. Let's see some facts about the big homie. In the early years of his reign, Seti led the one army northward of the restored Egyptian prestige, which was partly lost during the troubled years of the late 18th dynasty. He battled the northern Palestine and Syria and fought at least one battle within the Hittite king Muwattalatus. He subsequently concluded that the peace treaty that may have established the frontier of Kadesh and the Oxus River between the Lebanon and anti-Lebanon mountains Seti did much to promote the prosperity of Egypt, fortify the frontier, open up mines, corridors, well, rebuild temples and shrines, and often fall into decay that had been damaged. He was building pyramids from other. He was building pyramids that was already messed up, getting trees from the Hittites. So he couldn't have been saying that was like that. He wasn't an oppressor. He was not an oppressive pharaoh. He didn't do that. He was chilling. He was getting peace treaty. Come on.
Hold up, Seth. Hold up. You was glitching real bad, man. You have to address what you just said, the last 20 seconds of what you just said.
Okay, what I said was it couldn't have been Seti because Seti was getting peace treaties. He was chilling. He was just rebuilding from old quarries. He wasn't building new pyramids or nothing. So all that we was building pyramids and slaves and all that, it couldn't have been Seti. So Ramses and Seti eliminated. They're not the father. There's not the daddy. You understand? Not Seti and not Ramses. You understand me? Hold on, man. Not Seti and not Ramses. Okay, let's try one more pharaoh. Let's try Meneptah.
Hold up. Start again. All right, go ahead.
Hold on a second.
Let's try
Garfield. Hold on 1 second. This is Garfield. I don't know what type of system you have, bro, but listen, you sound clear 1 minute, then all of a sudden you sound like Daffy Duck, bro. What's going on with your system? I don't know what system you have, yo.
I'm going too hard, fool. That's what it is. I'm going too hard. Let me slow down.
Daffy Duck up in this piece. I know what you're saying. I'm
going in.
I'm
going in. Let me slow down. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Start my time, man.
Okay, I paused you. You good, bro. I got you. You had 9 minutes 43 seconds.
I'm good now.
Yeah, you good.
Y'all can hear me.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Meneptah Postile. This 1207 BC. What is the Meneptah Postile? You know what I'm saying? Let's see what it is. The text is largely an account of Meneptah Part victory over the Libyans and their allies. By the last 3 of the 8 of the 28 lines deal with the separate campaign of Canaan. They're part of Egypt's imperial possession in the stele is sometimes referred to as the Israel stele because of the majority of scholars translate and set the hieroglyphs in line 27 as Israel. Oh yeah, that boy Meneptah Part. Damn, he might give y'all a bone. He might just such y'all a bone. Meneptah Part. Let's see what the translators say. Am I still going clear?
Yeah, you good.
Let's go to Professor Flinders Petrie. Who is Professor Flinders Petrie? He's he's a Greenwich, London, England. Died July 28, 1942, Jerusalem. British archaeologist and Egyptologist who made valuable contributions to the techniques and methods of the field of excavation. Invented a sequence data method and made possible reconstruction of history from the remains of ancient cultures. He was 9 in 1922. All right, we don't need to know all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what his paperwork say. Let's see what Professor Flinders Petrie notes and what he say. All right, I'm gonna try to read this fast and get through it. If there's one archaeological discovery that always one discussion about Israel, it's the Meneptah Part Stele. It is the post where we're to look at what it is and what it tells us and what it doesn't tell us about Israelite origins. On Wednesday, April 1896, Charlotte arriving back from Israel, Professor William B. Spencer gave a lecture at the University College of London, having recently returned from the excavation of Egypt, towering over the Egyptology, and shared the details of his discovery. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now we're going to go to the middle one. We're going to go right here. It's like the first mention of the children of Israel discovered upon the monument of ancient Israel, of ancient Egypt, and even and been brought to the light as one of the results of the recent labors of professors Fenner Petrie. This mention is quite brief, but perfectly clear. Okay, let's go over to see what he say about Meneptah Par. He say, but we gonna go in the highlighted section right here. We're gonna go right here. Meneptah Par must have realized that he did not have many years left. However, for his mortuary temple of the Theban West Bank in construction, almost conclusively from the blocks removed from early structure, particularly in nearby temples. And who? I'm in Hotep. Oh, yeah. I'm in Hotep. I want y'all to remember that. I want y'all to keep that humanicism and that myth in y'all mind. Keep that in y'all mind. Let's go back to what some more said. What it say? It say Dr. Spielberg. Let's go to the top. Dr. Spielberg, Strawberry University, working with Flinders, Petrie, and translating inscriptions. Laid there copying that afternoon, he came out saying there are names of very senior times and one which I do not know. Israel, why? There's the Israel, said I. He said, and I want revenge. He said, I want reverence will be pleased, was his reply. He said, in this significance of the way was established earliest mention of Israel outside of the mission. Okay. Now see, this is the middle one right here. The mention of the Israel comes after the stele place towns, Meneptah Par had been found. Here's Spilate translation. The princes bent down, lays hell, and the rise among in the 9 boughs devastated the Tenahu, connected to the quiet Caesars and the Canaan were the evil led away from the Ashkelon, taken to Giza Yephanon with fought and taught, and the people of Israel laid to waste. Their crops are none. Okay, now just for time, we're gonna go back over. Now we're gonna go to the last one. The more recent translation benefiting from more than 100 years of scholarship is as follows. The foreign teachings lay prostrate saying peace. Not one lifts his head among the 9 boughs. Libya is captured, while Hatay is pacified. Canaan is plundered. Ashkelon is carried off, and Giza is captured. Yamana is made unto non-existent. Israel is wasted. Its seed is not. So it couldn't have been before Seti, and it couldn't have been after Meneptah Par. So what is this, people? This is a myth. This is a euphemism. This is a humericism. Humericism. Man, that word get me. This is what this is. What they have done is an approach to an interpretation of mythology to which mythological accounts are presumed to have originated from real historical events and personages. In my third round, you will see the personage. But the mythological events are the flood. The mythological events are these people being in Egypt. The mythological events is the Exodus. That's what this mythological event is. That's what these people did. Tactica said it. Trappiness said it. And Strabo said it. These people were before our time. They're telling us what happened. But in my third round, you will see who they getting it from. You will see actually where it's coming from. You see what I'm saying? Why they say this Moses?
Time.
Bet, because I was going.
My apologies, James. My apology. I let him go a little bit over.
I give him whatever extra you gave me.
Nah,
Yeah.
we good. When I'm done, I'm done.
Okay. Come. Salak. All right, family. So now we're transitioning to the last and final round, right? The last and final round. So for the debaters, understand this. This is your last opportunity. This is your last chance in the whole tournament. Somebody is about to catch a body, right? So you either win or go home. So for everybody watching, we want to hear from you, right? So we're going to allow you to cast your vote as we going into this last and final round. Then we're going to transition to the question and answer round, and then we're going to the judges. So right before we go to the judges, family, we want you all to vote, right? Get involved, right? We want to hear from you. All right, James Cassel, are you ready, brother?
Con, tell me when my screen sharing, man.
Yeah, man, because that was a great round from King Seth, man.
Man, King Seth talking out his neck, man. y'all can keep trying to build him up, man. We know what's up. So what? Am my screen sharing yet?
Yeah, you on.
All right, bet. So first thing I'm gonna do, I know y'all can barely see this, and I was doing it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read it straight off of the source I have right here, instead of reading it off the screen because it's clearly not showing too well. But before I start this, man, I'm gonna go over some things with him because this guy seems to think that by talking about pharaohs that I ain't talking about, he makes a point. I ain't talking about no Tutmosis. I'm not talking about all these people. He's lost in the 18th dynasty, brother. I'm in the 19th dynasty. That's why I keep saying it's a shame that you are a man who say I practice my yacht, but you don't know nothing about Egypt, bro. Because you all out the wrong timeline. See, this is why you're supposed to respond to what I'm the A side. You're supposed to respond to what I'm saying, not make up a whole bunch of stuff I ain't saying, because you're still talking about mythos and stuff, while in every definition you give said it's talking about actual events. It don't make no sense how you saying is he not real, but the events are real. The Bible on Earth, which he used, Israel Finkelstein has recanted a lot of work that he put into that. So you may want to upgrade your sources and stop using that outdated stuff. He said he was talking about Tutmosis, and Tutmosis ain't have no buildings. Man, did you listen to what I said in my first slide of the second round? Rameses II built the storehouses. That's who did it, man. Pay attention, bro, and then maybe you can rebut what I'm actually saying. Like I said, he ain't attacked no pharaoh that I mentioned, and he's in the wrong dynasty. All right, so let me get here to the Ipawar Papyrus, because what I'm going to do pretty much is I'm going to show, because a lot of people say the Ipawar Papyrus, nah, that's just the poet. That's just poetry, man. Don't pay it no attention. It's nothing like the Exodus. But I beg to differ. And that's why I'm going to just go directly into the Ipawar Papyrus itself. And this is by Gardner. This is Gardner's translation of the Ipawar Papyrus. I'm going to go right into the Ipawar Papyrus and read what it says. And then we can look into the biblical text and see what it says. Well, I mean, we know that. So I ain't even going to reference, because I got so many of them out the Ipawar Papyrus. I'm just going to allude to the biblical text that we all know so well. Starting off, I'm going to read from Garner. I'm going to read 2:5, excerpt 2:5. And it says, "Forsooth, hearts are violent. Plague is throughout the land. Blood is everywhere. Death is not lacking. The mummy cloth speaks before ever one comes near it." This right here is encompassing three plagues. The blood, which we can find. Let me see. Let me pull it up on my computer. Let me pull it up on my computer. All right, right here we got Exodus, and I'm gonna start in verse 20. And Moses and Aaron did so as the Lord commanded, and he lifted up a rod and smote the waters that were in the river, in the sight of Pharaoh, in the sight of his servants, and all the rivers that were, and all the waters that were in the river turned to blood, and the fish that was in the river died, and the river stank, and the Egyptians could not drink of the water of the river. There was blood throughout the land of Egypt. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read another excerpt from it, and this is 2:10. So let me go ahead and grab 2:10 here. And it says, "Forsooth, the river is blood, and nan men drink of it. Men shrink from tasting men shrink from it. Human beings and thirst after water." So this right here is reiterating clearly what the Exodus story says, and it's important to know that the Ipawar Papyrus was written towards the end of the 19th dynasty. And this is during the same time period in which Moses, Takhat, Seti II, or Amenmesse, all during the time period which all of them would have lived. All right, and then another one I want to pull is from 310. This is the Ipawar Papyrus, 310. Let me get there. All right, here we go right here. "Forsooth, the builders of pyramids have become field laborers. Those who were in the divine bark are yoked together. Men do not sail northward to Byblos today. What shall we do for cedars for our mummies?" Remember them cedars you was talking about? They talking about what will they do for cedars with the produce which priests are buried, and with the oil of which the column. As for the Kephin, they come no more. Gold is lacking. All of the handicrafts is at an end, and of the king's palace is despoiled. What a great thing it is for people of the oasis come with their festival spices with present. So this right here is pretty much going and showing that the houses are lacking. They ain't got no food there. So let's see where that comes up at. Right here, we can go into Exodus 9. Let's go to Exodus 9 real quick. I don't want to read too many verses, but I got to read a couple. All right, we're going to start Exodus 9. We're going to go to 31. All right. "And the flax and the barley were smitten, for the barley was in the ear, and the flax was boiled. But the wheat and the rye were not smitten, for they were not grown up. And Moses went out of the city of Pharaoh and spread abroad his hands, and the thunders and hail ceased, and the rain poured upon them no more." So this is pretty much talking about, and I can go into more verses out of Exodus, but again, I don't want to get bogged down in here, so I can get through all these. The lack of food that was throughout the land. And let's see what we can pull up right here from it. And for this one, I'm gonna grab one second. All right, here we go. We're gonna go 5:5 from the Ipawar Papyrus. 5:5. And it says, sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. Here we go, right here. "Forsooth, Terry slays. The timid man says, for enemies are few. And the following the crocodile and cleaving asunder is the slaughter of the lion roasted on the fire, is by sprinkling patah, wherefore that give him and does not reach him. It is misery that give to him." And let me read another one real quick. Oh, this one right here, good. 5:2. 5:2. Here we go, right here. "Forsooth, princes are hungry and in distress. Servants are served." So this right here is saying right here, the princes, all the higher ups, they're starving, but our servants, they eating. What's going on with that? Let's see if we can get another one that goes into that, talking about how the servants are good. Right here, we got 7:10. "The servants are good, but the Egyptians are starving." This is what the Ipawar Papyrus is saying. I'm not making this up. This ain't ad hoc. "Behold, noble ladies are upon, princes are in the storehouses. He who never slept upon walls is now possessor of a bed. Look right here. This is another part of 7:10. Behold, the possessor of wealth passes the night thirsting. He who begged for self his dregs is the possessor of bowls full of overflowing. So again, the princes ain't eating, but the poor people, they chilling. They got food. Ain't this what the Exodus story was telling us? I mean, last I checked, let's look at 4:13. Because we know in Exodus story, they talk about how feisty the Hebrew women are. You know how they just pop the babies out before they even the time. So let's see what they say about the feistiness of these servant women here. This is 4. We're going to 4:13 in the Ipawar Papyrus. And it says right here, forsooth, all female slaves are free with their tongues. When their mistress speaks, it's irksome to the servant. And don't that sound just like a sister? She ain't trying to hear it. You trying to order her around, tell her what to do. She ain't trying to hear it. And that's exactly what they telling you here. And it lines up with the feistiness of what they said the Hebrew women were, according to the Egyptian maids who were bringing forth the children. Let's get to another. Let's go to 5:3. I think 5:3 is a good illustration of they take on the position of a certain man. It says right here, forsooth, it is throughout the land in its name. Wait, that's the wrong one. Let's see. Here we go, right here. It says, forsooth, it is because of the angry man that we go through this. So it's clear here that they saying, look, somebody has angered someone, and that's the reason we going through all this right here. Let's go with 7:5, where it talks about his magicians, because we got to remember what Moses did to the Egyptians to the Egyptian sorcerers when they went in there. He saw right through their little games and revealed all and showed that his quote unquote serpent or his sorcery, because that's what serpentry represents, sorcery was greater than theirs. This is 7:5 of the Ipawar Papyrus. It says, behold, the serpent is taken from its hole. The secrets of the king of Upper and Lower Egypt are divulged. Because you got to remember, Amenmesse, Moses, or Meses, or whatever you want to call him, from his Egyptian or his Kushite or Hebrew name, was the son of a king. Amenmesse at one time, for a short period of time, like 4 years, reigned in Egypt while Seth was away conquering the lands which King Seth talking about nobody wants. Everyone knows about the constant expeditions Egyptians go out into Canaan to subdue it because of the trade routes. The King Road goes through there. You need it for the trade routes. Come on, that's why the Assyrians came and wanted it. That's why the Hittites were fighting for it. It's a trade route, brother. You need to really, really learn about this history, bro, because you seem out of sorts right now. But here's the big thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them say, oh, well, nothing happened to Pharaoh, man. But let's see what the Ipawar Papyrus say in 7:1 about this. The Ipawar Papyrus in 7:1 says, behold, things are done that have never happened for a long time past. The king has been taken away by poor men. They're talking about the king take. Well, let's see what these poor men did to the Egyptians, because I mean, it's a ton of them. But let me see if I can grab just a couple of them about how they plundered these Egyptians. I'm gonna go with 6:3 to start it off. Again, this is the Ipawar Papyrus. This is Gardner's translation. I'm in 6:3. And it reads, forsooth, grain has perished on every side. People are stripped of clothes, spices, and oil. Everyone says there is none. The storehouse is ruined. Its keeper is stretched on the ground. It is no happy thing for my heart. Would that I had made the voice of the moment that would save from the pain that I'm in. So again, we seeing these people starving. Let me see. Let me get to 6:5, ain't it? Yeah, 6:5. See. Matter of fact, let me just go to 8:4 because for some reason I'm missing that one. 8:4. I don't want to read to y'all nothing I ain't looking at. I ain't trying to make it up to you. Okay, it says, behold, he whose hair had fallen out and was without oil is now possessor of jars of sweet myrrh. Now, how you think we got all that myrrh in the wilderness we was using, huh? We got it from the Egyptians because the scriptures tell us we plundered them. All right, that's what the scriptures say. Let's see. Let's go to 7:8 and see what 7:8 says. Right here, behold, the possessors of tombs are driven out of the high ground. He who could make himself no coffin is now possessor of a treasury. How you think we got all that gold we used in the Sinai? Huh? We got it from the Egyptians, and the Papyrus Papyrus is telling you that. It's telling you this, brother. And you need to accept what the Egyptians saying. You say that you follow Mayat. You are someone who follows the Egyptian ways, but you deny what its writings say. And then let's see how they got away. We're going to go to 9:11. Let's see how they got away. All right, right here in 9:11 says, destroyed are their food, is taken away from them. Fear of terror he inspires. The poor man begs the messenger without time. He is seized, laden with his possessions, taken away. Men pass by his door, him without the dreading it. Men flee. Tents are what they are in, like the dwellers in the hill. Now we know, according to the story of Exodus, the Hebrews left in tents. So, brother, we got blood in the water. We got the Egyptians starving. We got people fleeing in tents. But let's get to another big one. We're going to go to 4:3 so we can get to some death going on here, which I've already mentioned a while ago, but let's get to some more. 4:3. Okay, it says, forsooth, the children of the princes are dashed against the walls. The offspring of desire are laid out in the high ground. Canoes groan because of his weariness. Come on, brother. This is telling you right here that the prince's sons died. Isn't that what happened during the Passover, brother? I'm sorry, but this Papyrus Papyrus seems to be clearly bagging up everything the scriptures is saying. And I'm going to read 9:2, and then I'm going to talk a little bit, and then I'm going to yield the mic. So let's go 9:2. Because all this evidence is coming together that I'm bringing together to show, because you got to remember from the beginning, I showed the 4-bedroom house has been in Duer al-Medina in Egypt. I showed that they appear in the Iron Age in Israel. The Proto-Sinaitic script comes from Egypt, Semitic-speaking peoples. Then I showed that it's during the rise of the Semitic-speaking kingdoms, like with the Kerbek Kiafa Astrakhan, that we see these people come back to their preeminence. We see them using this Proto-Sinaitic script. I went and showed that Rameses II wasn't an anachronism, that it's an actual historical reference. I showed you who pulled Moses up out of the water in Takhat, who was the mother of Amenmesse. I showed you where he had a rival brother or cousin, actually, that he usurped the throne from. I showed you that he was involved in a murder where the quote-unquote enemy was responsible for the murder. Someone else was brought up on charges, but then this same Amenmesse, who was going by Moses, which was his Kushite Vizier name, came in and acquitted the man of all charges. And again, in the Hebrew Israelite culture, if you're involved in nefarious activities like murder, even though you may not have put your hand to the blade that cut that man's throat, you just as guilty. And then shortly after this is exposed, Amenmesse disappears off the scene. You can go check it. In his tomb, his body ain't in his tomb. It's two women buried in his tomb, and clear evidence of people coming in and bothering things in the tomb. So his body ain't there. Where did he go? He only reigned 4 years and just disappear off the face of the earth? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I think the evidence that I brought forth has shown and proved that Moses is this Amenmesse. But let me go ahead and read this right here. This is gonna be 9:2 right here that I read to close out this part right here. It says, "Behold, cattle are left to stray. There is none to gather them together. Each man fetches for himself those who are branded with his name." Now we know where it talks about there how the cattle were hungry and they were needing. This right here saying the cattle just running straight. But I'm gonna read 5:5, which hits on them being hungry. That's the one I should have read in the first place, but I'm gonna read it. And then after this, I'm pretty much gonna yield the mic and let the brother go ahead and do his last round. And hopefully, in that last round, he'll approach some of the stuff I've been saying since square one. He hasn't shown us any methodology really to it. He's just grabbing different stuff that he feels agrees with him. He hasn't shown us any reason, any chronological events happening and taking place that will show that is impossible for it. Again, he's just reaching and grabbing anything he can reach for to try and persuade y'all not to see the evidence that I'm bringing forth. And right here in 5:5, it says here, "Forthwith all animals, their hearts weep, cattle moan because of the state of the land." Okay, now I've went into this Ipawar Papyrus and illustrate numerous examples in which the Exodus event speaks of. Now, again, this debate was not, did the Exodus happen the way the Bible says it did? That wasn't the debate. The debate was, is Moses a historical person? I gave the Moses inscription also, which would be contemporary with his life. So we have a contemporary inscription written in what they would call Proto-Sinaitic, which again doesn't truly emerge until it's connected to the Israelites, which gives reason to believe that that those were Israelites writing that and speaking about Moses. I mean, they had more. They have Joseph in the Sinaitic inscriptions, his wife Asenath, a lot of things. And again, to be completely open, it has not been signed off by everyone, but there has not been any linguistic objections to it. It's just been objections to him making it Hebrew. And with that, I yield the mic, man. Let's get it. Jeremiah, you there?
Man, it don't matter if you or not, man. I'm finna go and punch in your face. Is it my turn to go?
Go through the quorum, Seth. I know you're getting bodied. Chill.
Hold up, King Seth. Hold up.
What you mean? Hold up, man. I'm the Texas rattlesnake. You can't hold a rattlesnake back, baby.
Hey, don't make me mute your mic, brother. All right. So now, this is what I'm saying. You gotta get muted, brother. You gotta get muted, brother. All right. So now, I see a lot of activity in the comment board, and what I'm reading in the comment section, I feel like y'all not listening to the debate. Okay. It's a lot of chitter chatter going on. Where's Moses? Where's Mother Man is showing different things and different methodology, and y'all not paying attention, right? King Seth is bringing forth his information, right? James Cassel is bringing forth his information. Y'all need to pay attention, right? So you're going to be able to voice your opinion in just a minute, right? So now we're going to enter into King Seth's last and final attempt to disprove. Now, this is a big topic in the Hebrew Israelite community, also in the conscious community. Why? Because it's an argument that's been going on for years, right? So this is a very significant debate here, right? So King Seth, are you ready?
Man, sorry, man. I was born ready, man.
All right, man. Let's go, man.
You
go.
right. You right, man. You right, man.
On the line, brother.
You right, man. They is asking what Moses, because he ain't proved that Moses existed. Because it ain't no Moses, man. Like I told you, it was a myth and a euphemism used by these people, man, to explain something, to explain a story. You dig what I'm saying? Say, man, ain't no king, took no daughter, and the daughter just coming out with some random baby and just saying this is your grandson. This is not how royalty works. This is not how it goes. You understand what I'm saying? Your daughter coming out with a random baby, even right now today. Everybody on this microphone, everybody under the sound of my voice. If your daughter come in the house with a random baby, the first thing you're going to ask for is where you got the baby from. That's the first thing where does baby come from? That's the first thing. Now let's go to some archaeology pertaining to Moses. The Egyptian historian Manetho, who, remember this name, Manetho. This is my third round. This I say the best for last. You see what I'm saying? Century BCE, however, tells the story of an Egyptian priest named Osiris, who led a group of leapers in a rebellion against the wishes of the king who wanted them banished. Osiris Manetho claims rejected the polytheism of the Egyptian religion in favor of the monotheistic understanding and changed his name to what? Moses, meaning the child of, usually used in conjunction with God's name. Ramses would be Rameses, son of Ra, for example. Osiris would have attached God's name to his own, and it would seem since he believed himself in the son of a living God who had no name, human beings could, should, or utter. Watch this. Moses could have been a mythological character who took the life of his own. And his story, who was told over and over again, could have been a real person to whom magical supernatural events were ascribed, or could have been precisely as he early books in the Bible and in the Quran. He talking about Britannica. He had to debunk Britannica. You can't debunk Britannica. This is about Moses, not about who the people you talking about. Let's keep it on the subject. You trying to finagle the people. Stay on who is Moses. You're not trying to prove who is Moses. Come on, let's go with Manetho's story. Let's go right here. Let's big it up. Manetho's story of Osiris Moses is related to, by the historian who? Flavius Josephus, another Jew, who is citing Manetho. Why are we going to use Manetho? Because Manetho is what? An Egyptian priest. He's there. He's in the land listening to these people tell these stories. Because why? He's with the Ptolemaic people. What did Ptolemy do? Force them people to make him a deity. So what did the priest do? Force the priest to tell them their stories. So this is a story that Manetho is saying right here. Moses, who become the elder of the colony, Egyptian leapers. This is led by the number of writers and scholars. Sigmund Freud and Joseph Chronicles also assert that Moses of the Bible was not a Hebrew who was raised in the Egyptian palace, but an Egyptian priest who led a religious revolution. This isn't a euphemism. This is the persona of mythology being introduced into history. That's what this is. This is a circular debate for me. The theory links Moses closely with the pharaoh Akhenaten. Now we know Akhenaten is way different from Moses, who established his own monotheistic belief in God. Unlike the other gods, okay. Let's go to the Hyksos. Come on, I'm stalling for time. I'm trying to get for time. Let's find out who the Hyksos. Dynasty of Palestinian origin that ruled northern Egypt in the 15th dynasty of the Seth. The name Hyksos became Egyptian. That name again. Historian Manetho flourished 3000 BCE, who according to the Jewish historian Flavius Josephus is citing Manetho. So in this last Well, we're gonna use Manito because every other one after him is going to Manito. They are referring to Manito for Moses. So translate the word as king shepherds or captain shepherds. Let's go to this one. Okay. Let's see. What he said, who I'm in Hotep for Nemesis and like to expel. Okay. He'd like to expel the Hyksos. Let's see. We're gonna do a first 48 on the whole. I'm in Hotep called Amenmesse. This the dude that Manito was talking about. King of ancient Egypt reign, well, son of Amenhotep, founder of the 18th dynasty. He effectively extended Egypt's boundaries to Nubia, modern Sudan. Okay, so we know he probably couldn't. We don't know. Let's see. Let's keep going. Manito. Let's see some background on Manito. Egyptian priest. Now, why are we using Manito? Because he's a who? He's an Egyptian priest of the who Ptolemaic period. That he's going in that these the white folks that went into Egypt and forced the black folks there to make Ptolemy a deity. So Manito is a white boy that's recording the history in Greek. This what Manito doing. You see what I'm saying? This the type of shit they was doing right here when they made him an Egyptian priest. So this why we gonna go with him because he's there. He's not outside of the land. He's there. He's hearing it from the horse's mouth. You understand what I'm saying? He hearing it from the peasants, everybody else. Come on. Let's go to his story. What? Manito, Moses, the leaper king and warrior criminal. I'm going to try to read this fast and we're going to go over it. The Egyptians told the story of Moses too, but in their version, he wasn't the miracle working hero of the God. In the vision passed down by the Egyptian historian Manito, Moses is a brutal and violent monster and isn't even Jewish. Moses, according to Manito, was an Egyptian priest named Osiris who tried to take over Egypt, and the Pharaoh quarantined everyone with leprosy into the Avarice, and Osiris used them to stage a revolt. He named himself ruler of the lepers, changed his name to Moses, and turned them against the Pharaoh. Let's go. Moses and his army of lepers created the Jewish laws purely out of spite of the Egyptians. They deliberately made their laws an exact opposite of everything that the Egyptians believed. They sacrificed bulls, for example, purely because the Egyptians worshiped one. Moses and his leper colony formed the alliance of the people living in Jerusalem, and they built an army of 200,000 people. Then invaded Egypt and conquered Ethiopia first. That was the reign of despotism according to the Egyptians. Moses and his people abstained. There were no sort of weakness nor barbarity. The ancient Egyptians worshipped sacred animals like Apis, who is, was, and living the bull tree as God. Moses just killed these animal sacrifice. He forced the Egyptian priests to serve them to do it for him. The priests were forced to burn their divine animals alive, top of the pyre, made the sacred images. Then they were stripped naked and sent into the wilderness to die. Eventually, after the 13 years, Amenmesse managed to get a big enough army together. Together to get Moses out of Egypt. He chased them into Syria. Moses and his people settled into Jerusalem, and to the Egyptians, that every Egyptian law, that foundation of the modern society, started the leper community as nothing more than spite against the Egyptians. You see what I'm saying? This is what Manito said. This is what the closest person that we would hear from the horse's mouth saying. Ain't nobody else in the land but Manito. He hearing it because he's a priest. He's forcing the other priests to tell him this story. So watch this here. Without no Exodus, there is no Moses. Because you change your name, don't make you real. Now let's go to Manito's right to this portion of the Hyksos. You see what I'm saying? I said, quote, let's go right here. Matter of fact, let me blow it up. I shall quote Manetho again, and what he writes as the order of times in the case. He says, after this is people and shepherds, and the left Egypt to go to Jerusalem. The Moses who drove them out, who was the king of Egypt and reigned 25 years and 4 months and then died. Watch this. He writes these words. Those sent the work of the quarries, lived in a miserably for long, and a while the king acts on the city, a part of Avis. Avis is where the Hyksos lived. Now watch this, which the shepherds had left, and their habitation that protect them and granted their wish. According to the ancient mythology, Avis was Typhus city. But when men of entered it and found suitable revolt, they chased the ruler among the priests, Heliopolis, whose name was Osiris. They swore an oath that they would obey him in all things. The first laws he gave to them were that they were to not worship Egyptian gods, nor should they abstain from any sacred animal that the Egyptians held in the highest esteem, but could kill them. And they should not ally themselves to any but those that were of their conspiracy. He already told them. He like, look, bro, say anything that the Egyptians do the opposite. If they say don't do this, do it. If they say do this, then don't do that. This is what the so-called Osiris said because he was mad. He changed his name to Osiris. If you commit a crime in one city and you go to another city, the dude that you created with the new credit and the new house and the new money, that's a fake dude. That dude exists on paper. But the dude that you turned him from, that's the real dude that you are. So Osiris, he's a real dude. But Moses is not a real dude. He did not part the Red Sea. He did not escape Jews. He did not do none of this that the biblical stance is talking about. And what he talking about, say, bro, you trying to equate these people with this, bro. You trying to equate these people with Moses. But show me where any of these people have split a Red Sea, have talked to a burning bush, have went on top of a mountain, and got commandments from God. This is the Moses we talking about. Quit trying to finagle the people. Quit trying to sit here and play with the people with philosophy. We're not dealing with philosophy. We're going to deal with facts. Now watch this. This is Manetho right here. Pay close attention to the last paragraph. The Egyptian term, I'm starting at the top right here and say the number 8. In Egyptian term, misunderstood by Thucydides, the whole nation was styled Hyksos. That was the shepherd king of the first syllable Hyksos, according to the sacred dialect denotes the king and the Isos shepherd. But according to the ordinary dialect and these compound Hyksos, but some say that these people are Arabians. Not in another copy. It is said that the words do not denote kings. Hyksos, now we're going to go all the way down to 9. Right here. We're going to go all the way down to 9. To the number 9. Be quiet, go back up. Moses, it was also reported that the priest who ordained the polarity and the laws was birth of Heliopolis. And his name was Osiris, of Osiris, who was the god of Heliopolis. But when he was gone over to these people, his name was changed, and he was Moses. This is a euphemism. This is a euphemism. This is a myth. If you want to believe in this myth, that's fine. We're not telling you to stop believing in your deity. We're not telling you to stop believing in your stories. What I'm telling you is that if you know the truth, then change. That's what I'm saying. Because Moses was not real. But maybe the principles and the things that he laid and he stood by, maybe they were real. Maybe the myth is better than the real person. Maybe the myth is better than the real person. But Moses, as a real person, was not real. Now let's hit another slide. Let's go to Osiris one more time. We're going to hit him with the Wikipedia one. We're going to hit him with the easy one. You dig? Osiris. Osiris is a legendary figure of ancient Egypt, who been equated with Moses. His story was recounted by the Ptolemaic Egyptian historian Manetho in his Arabica, first half of the 1st century BCE, Manetho work is lost. But the 1st century AD Jewish historian Josephus quotes him extensively. Josephus, Flavius, quotes him extensively. Do you understand? Now, we already know the story of Osiris. We see how he changed his name to Moses because basically in the story, he went to Egypt and he ransacked it. He did despicable things. I don't mean to talk down about the Christian faith or the Hebrew Israelites, but this is the truth. And if I have to give my brothers the truth this hard way to tell y'all I love y'all and I'm trying to free y'all, then I'm going to tell y'all the truth. This is the truth. This guy went to Egypt, ransacked Egypt, did disrespectful things to Egypt, then tried to change his name through history. So he just like Harry Potter. Yeah, the white boy that play Harry Potter is real. But Harry Potter, the one that do the magic, is not real. Moses is non-existent. Moses never existed. He's a made-up figure, somebody trying to cover up for their wrongdoings. In conclusion, the biblical narratives do not chronologically line up with archaeologically nor Egyptian history. The pharaohs that we could be mentioned according to the biblical narrative are eliminated due to time and no mention of these people in their records. The Menopte Stele places them somewhere else during the time they claim to be in Egypt. The Manetho clearly states that an exile of the Hyksos, them continuously warring and the leader among them rose named Osiris, who was later to be renamed Moses. Manetho also explains who these people were and where these people came from, and why they was exiled, because they was leapers. Now, what we gonna do, family? We gonna go back and we gonna be adults, and we gonna put belief to the side.
1 minute remaining.
We're going to put belief to the side. What we're going to do is we're going to face facts. Is it a great story of morals to live by, to champion by? Yes, it is. Is it archaeologically believable? No. Can we find it in the historical records? No. But can we live by these principles? Can we live by what this myth and this euphemism stands up to? Yes, we can. Can we love each other? Can we watch what we eat? Can we follow these laws? Yes, we can. Are these laws good? Yes, they are. But is the person that we say came up with them real? No. Maybe the myth is better than the real person. But today, in this debate, the question is Moses real? And the evidence proves today that Moses is not a real person. And I rest my case.
All right, family. So for everybody that's watching, right? For everybody that's watching, this is what these brothers is fighting for, right? This is what they fighting for, right? The championship belt. And right now, it's on the line. So I want to remind the debaters right now at this moment, right? You're fighting for your life. And this question and answer segment is very important. Very important. This is your last ditch effort to change the minds of these judges and the minds of the people that are watching. So everyone that's watching, right? Everyone that's watching, I want you to be ready to cast your vote right after this question and answer segment. Once you cast your vote, we're going to the judges, right? So I want to hear from you brothers and sisters that are watching, right? So, James Cassel, you started us off. So, King Seth, you got the first question in this question and answer segment. Make sure you bring it on home. All right? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I got 3 questions, man. My first question, Hey, my first off the muscle. My first question is,
Turn
who
your
is the
camera on,
pharaoh?
Turn your camera on up.
Are you want to turn my camera on?
Yeah.
My first question is, who is the pharaoh of the Exodus? And I need sources. I need evidence to see that this pharaoh is who you say it is, bro.
All right. You got 2 minutes to answer. James, are you ready?
Sure. I think that the question, I mean, the debate ain't about the Pharaoh, is about Moses himself. I told you who he is, but again, the Pharaoh that enslaved the Israelites and put them in the store cities to build Pithom and Rameses was Ramses II, which was the first slide of my second presentation. I mean, of my second round of the presentation. So, I mean, you should have been paying attention to that one, bro.
All right, there you have it. All right, James, your turn to ask a question.
Okay, how is it just because I change my name, like if I change my name from James to Jesse, how does that mean I'm not a real person?
All right, King Seth, you got 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I guess the only way I can answer this question is in the form of example. Is if my name is King Seth and I change my name to Michael Jordan, and I go out there and I start signing Michael Jordan tennis shoes, Jumpman pants. I'm not Michael Jordan. So over here with me, it's fictitious. It's not real. I'm actually King Seth. So I didn't do the things that Michael Jordan did. So I can't associate myself with Michael Jordan. That's why. Am I? Yeah, I get it.
All right, King Seth, it's on you.
And royalty. Would you actually believe that someone, as far as like if you was if what you know how King, you know how Moses goes and his daughter finds the baby and she comes to Pharaoh and he says, okay, in royalty, doing your studies, doing everything that you studied and all your you know your academics, do you actually believe that anybody dealing in royalty or that's a monarch or king or anything like that would actually just dry accept a child that comes from nowhere?
The history shows, I mean, you should really research this, and I brought this up in the debate. You asked me questions I've already answered. This is weird. That Tutmosis III in the 18th dynasty started this tradition of adopting the kids and bringing them into their families. That's the clear answer to that. So I guess I'll fall back on my next question, because the first question, I didn't say I was taking on another persona. I just said I simply changed my name, which is what you said that Manetho says he did. How does me let's say well, let me put it like this. Let's say we strip the miracles away, because you were saying about how maybe the myth is better than the real story. If we strip all the mythos and stuff away, even from the evidence you gave, it still shows a man who changed his name from Osiris to Moses, who took a people out of Egypt and settled them into Jerusalem. This is literally the Bible story stripped of the mythos. So why do you keep saying he didn't exist? He's just a man with the same story who changed his name, who didn't do miracles. That's it. It's the exact same story, though. So explain to me how he didn't exist.
Okay, because the Moses that's in the Bible, the Moses that's created, is not the name that he changed. He changed his name because in ghetto perspective, he changed his name because he was running from the law. He changed his name. He changed his name because he was out of
Still
bounds.
existed, though. But your question.
Hold, come on, bro. He changed his name because he was out of pocket. He didn't do it because he caught enlightenment, or he was a Jacob figure. He changed his name because he did something that he wasn't supposed to do. He did something because he had somebody out for his neck. He had Amenmesse, which was Amenhotep, out for his neck. That's why he changed his name. That's why he tried to change his name in history, because he was creating a new religion. He was an Egyptian priest. He didn't like the Egyptians. Manetho told you the whole story. He answered the question for me. He didn't want to do it. So what did he do? He changed his name because he wanted to rebel. He did everything in spite of the Egyptians. It wasn't, according to Manetho, according to the person that was making people tell the story, the Hebrews, they came in doing things that we wasn't kosher with. So this is what how we call it in the South, foot to mouth. That's how we call it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Time. All right, so this is your last and final question, King Seth. Go.
Do you actually believe that somebody that Moses parted the actual Red Sea and these people walked out? This many people walked out of Egypt with no record and parted the Red Sea? Do you actually believe this?
Well, brother, I just finished spending my whole third round reading from your Egyptian document called the Ipawar Papyrus about slaves. Excuse me?
Turn your camera on.
Oh, okay. I just finished reading the Ipawar Papyrus, again, your document, that talks about how the rivers are turned to blood, the cattle don't have food, the people don't have food, the princes are starving while the servants are eating and rejoicing, about how servants have plundered them. And
but that's not playing in the Bible.
Hold on. I'm answering my question. I'm answering the question.
That's not playing in the Bible, though.
Okay, can I finish? That's all that is in the Bible, actually. Everything I just mentioned is in the Bible. Okay, so also shown that the Pharaoh, they said that they took the Pharaoh, which according to our story, the Pharaoh died when he chased after them. So all of this I showed you emphatically from the Ipawar Papyrus, an Egyptian document, and that they fled in tents. That's what it says. Now, I'm not a proponent of the Masoretic text, which embellishes on numbers. If you read the Dead Sea Scrolls, and also the word that's used for 1,000 there is also the same word for herd of cattle. So it doesn't necessarily mean 1,000. It means like a herd of people, so or a clan, as a better word for it. So a bunch of clans left out of it, not those hundreds of thousands of people. I don't personally believe that. So now to my question. Now I find it weird that you hinging yourself on Manetho here, who admits he exists. You just finished arguing as if he exists because you said, and I quote, he was on the run from the law. That's what you said. How can a fake person be on the run from the law? It don't make any damn sense, but that ain't my question. My question is, hold on, that ain't my question. That ain't my question. That ain't my question. My question is,
I was using
Seth, this ain't your time for that, bro. This is my time. All right, calm down, bro. I know you're losing. Calm down. This ain't time for that. My question is, how is Manetho, a Ptolemaic first century source being quoted by Josephus, another person, more credible than the Dead Sea Scrolls, which predates him and give reference to a historical Moses?
Because Manetho is an Egyptian priest. Manetho is right there with when Ptolemy is forcing these people to tell them the history, when he's forcing them to make him a deity. So Manito is another white boy that's sitting right there, like, okay, yeah, tell me, Negro. I don't know the derogatory word they probably use, but tell me, Egyptian, what this is. He's the closest one to it. Josephus is using him. Tacitus is using him. Hell, Atrapius is a Jew. Josephus Flavius is a Jew. They using Manito. So how can you go against Manito if 2 Jews is going with Manito? 2 Jews is using Manito's translation of Moses, and they got different ones. So how can you say this is somebody that's real? When you got people that's there with different stories, bro. That's getting the interpretations off the wall. This is the Ptolemaic period. When they're being forced. So the priest is telling Manito, say, write this down. What this mean? He telling them what it is. And he writing it down. Let's stop playing with the words, bro. We're not dealing with philosophy right now. What we dealing with is facts, archaeology, stuff that we can grasp, tangible evidence, things that we can put our hands on, things that we can touch, we can refer back to. If you want to believe in it, say it's a belief, brother. I'm fine with that. Say it's a belief. Say you want to believe in Moses' law. Cool. Great law. Live by it. That's fine. But don't tell me this is fact that this man parted the Red Sea, that this man was real, that he come up out of the river and a king just took a baby.
Time.
Just, okay.
Time.
In a building, man.
All right. Here we are. Here we are, family. The moment of truth. The moment of truth. Somebody is finna catch a body. All right. So for everybody that's watching, it's your time to speak. Everybody that's watching, it is your time to speak. All right. So I want you to put a number 1 in the chat for King Seth. A number 1 in the chat for King Seth. I want you to put a number 2 in the chat for James Cassel. A number 2 in the chat for James Cassel. It's your time to speak, family. All right. All right, judges, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
If you don't mind, if you could let me go first, because I'm in these hills and I don't want to lose service.
Yeah. Come on with it. Talk to us, family.
All right, cool. So, great debate. To both of the debaters, both did an excellent job. When I looked through the rounds, I looked through the evidence that King Seth gave. He kind of actually convinced me that Moses was actually a real character. He didn't agree with the mythos, but he definitely agreed that he was a real character. And even if he changed his name, you still admitted that he was a real character. And even with the historians that you listed, you said they had conflicting stories, but they still agreed that he existed. And so then, with the stories or the mythos that you brought out, who are we to believe which one of those stories is true? But we can just agree that they existed. What hit me is when you got to the Man Stella and you listed Israel there. When you listed Israel there, you kind of made a mistake when you did that, due to the fact of that if you list the people that exist, then who can better give who their ancestors is than those who are people that exist? You can't tell nobody or have them to prove that their ancestor didn't exist if you just proved that Israel existed, who was a people. And so then with the brother
James, man.
James, I'm sorry, my fault. my fault, my fault, James. I've been knowing you for
I only
years.
been knowing you for about 7 years, man.
Hold
Yeah,
up, man.
7 years, my fault, man. So with James, I think James pulled it off. He did it, he went a route that I would never went, but he pulled it off. He edged it. He made some with the Papyrus, he made some connections there. I don't know how he pulled it off with the Ramses and the anachronism right there. But he pulled it off. Yeah, I would never went that route, but he had a great presentation, great things going with that. So with that, I'm gonna have to give it to the brother off the shy, brother Ronnie, James Cassel.
First vote goes for our brother James Cassel. I know you're sweating. I know your palms are sweating right now. I know your palms is sweating. Right? I know your palms are sweating, man. Listen, the chat is talking right now, bro. The chat is talking, bro. And it's more of a difficult decision in the chat than it was last night. Shout out to G-Town.
Hey, I'm the best. I'm the best. You hear me? I know I ruined y'all hero last night, but I'm the best.
I am
Right.
mad at you, baby. Respect, man. I appreciate that.
All right, man. So let's go to the next judge, man.
All right, no problem, brother. Great presentation, though. Grace and peace to you.
Yeah. I'm very interested in this next judge, man. Right? I'm very interested in this next judge. Garfield, man, where you at, man? Where you at, man?
I'm right here, man.
Yeah, let Mighty Hebrew go before. Go ahead, Mighty Hebrew. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, you want Mighty Hebrew to go? Okay.
You want to go first, Garfield, or you want me to go?
Nah, you can go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
I'll go. All right. First of all, let's give both of the brothers a hand clap, because they both brought forth, some scholarship. So, just the time and effort of taking to bring forth a scholarship. First, I want to say, when I seen James Cassel, when he first came on, he gave you like a brief synopsis of what he was going to lay out. That's very imperative when you come into a debate. Verse when you seen brother King Seth, he came straight from the Encyclopedia Britannica. When you look at James Cassell's, you can see the input. That was one of the things that was spoken about earlier when me and Garfield was talking. Verse going on social media, look into what he's bringing in. And that was one of the things I looked at throughout the whole presentation. James Cassel was bringing in his thoughts on the information that he brought forth. In round one, I gave it to James Cassel because he brought out something by Douglas Petrovitz, was a translation actually saying the name of Moses at that time. That's not to say it's true or false. I'm just saying he brought some academia information that during that whole presentation where you was talking about, Seth, you never like combated that. You see what I'm saying? It was more or less, your presentation was more coming from the Britannica. Another thing that I found interesting was the Amenmesse Vizier of Kush. And he actually went into the Journal of the American Research Center in Egypt. When you look at the presentation, James Cassel was giving different academia scholarships as references. And showing, even though like G. Khan said, me personally, I wouldn't have went on the Rameses II. Because you know what I'm saying? And I'm showing you this to show that there's no biasness in what I'm saying, because in that, I don't even acknowledge that was the actual pharaoh. But the whole point that I'm saying is, when he brought forth, he showed a chronological timeline showing the existence of Moses. Another thing, your information was actually proving that Moses did exist, or that was a historical person that took the name Moses. However you want to look at it, the information you was presenting, you wasn't presenting that Moses didn't exist. It was actually confirming he existed. Then in round 3, that what's that Ipura papyrus, that killed it. That killed it because he's doing a comparative study. That's what most scholars do. Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, all of them, they do comparative studies. In this retrospect here, you see a comparative study. This papyrus with the story in the Exodus, whether if one wants to look at it as real or not, we talking about the chronology, how it was broken down. So in this debate, you know, James, he won. Yaakov James Cassel won this one. Hallelujah.
Woo!
Hallelujah.
All right.
Congratulations, my G, 100, baby.
All right. So let me say that first of all, congratulations to the both of you guys for a spirited debate. James was definitely more. I would say he was more controlled. If I could find a better word, I mean, he was more controlled throughout the whole debate. But I would say that the first round, James brought out a source saying Moses was written in the Proto-Sinaitic. And by the way, Petrovich has been refuted by academia completely, but that's not here nor there. But what I will say is King Seth never refuted that. And I think that stuck in my head the whole time throughout the whole debate. Whenever you're debating, you got to take notes. If I took the time out to be a judge and write down notes, whenever you're debating, you gotta really take notes. All right. He said Moses is on the Proto-Sinaitic, no rebuttal by King Seth. He talked about Amenmesse and all that stuff, right? King said the first round you were so hyped up because you know Moses don't exist. You were so hyped up, it's like you was just ranting and you were just all over the place, right? That was round 1. Round 2, I didn't like James' presentation for round 2. I didn't like it at all. But round 2, King Seth said, hey, he's going to prove that the Exodus didn't happen. And he did a lot in his presentation, 75% of it, to say that the Exodus didn't happen. So if it didn't happen, more than likely this figure Moses is made up. So that was his point. That's the best thing he did for the whole debate.
Yeah, I agree with that. That second round, he did real good, man.
Yeah. Round 3, the Ipura Papyrus, whether I agree with James again or not, because that is dated. He definitely used it to prove his point. And King Seth never refuted it, although King Seth did make a good case at the end of that round. So I kind of gave him the third round. But guess what happened now? The question and answer period, we're asking back and forth questions. And you came out the blue and answered a question by James talking about Moses like he is real. So I had to take my personal beliefs out of this and say, bruh, if you're debating that he don't exist, you can't give the opposing side anything at all to say, hey, yo, you agree with me, bro. And G Conscious said the same thing. Mighty Hebrew just said the same thing. And I'm telling you the same thing, bro. To me, you would have won the debate if you had did the question and answer period and knock it out the box, or even refute what he said in the first round about Moses. So next time when you debate, you just take notes, bro. I know you got all the information. I don't need to give you no information, but you could have even Googled what he said while the debate was going on, and you could have just respond. What James did, James wrote notes down and responded to 5 different things that you said after each round. He's like, oh, you said this, I'm gonna respond to this. You said this, I'm gonna respond to this. So, bro, I mean, I'm gonna give it to James, man. I can't even. I mean, I can't even lie, bro. I can't even play myself. You know what I'm saying? Well, you did good, but you just learn from this right now. You learn from this. You're gonna be a beast, though. I could definitely tell with the energy and the information you have. You ready? All right. And that's what I'm gonna leave it right there.
Hey, before I give the floor, King Seth. Hey, we ain't gonna go home, man. Right? I appreciate all of the judges taking out their time coming in because we've been on 2 hours 35 minutes, and I appreciate you all, man, coming in here doing your thing. King Seth, I love you, baby.
Man, I had a blast, bro. I had a blast, man. Hey, it took somebody like James. It took somebody like him to come out here and play with me, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he did his stuff, man. I ain't mad at him. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I respect everything that the judges said. I'm gonna take heed to it. Hey, I'm still the Intercontinental champ, though.
That's right.
Yeah, I still got a belt right here. You understand me? I'm still the Intercontinental
Man,
champ.
you gotta let me speak, straight up.
Who is that?
This is me, Kyle, Hebrews in the Hood.
All right, hold on 1 second, Hebrews. I'm gonna come to you, bro. Go ahead, King Seth. Finish up.
Oh yeah, man. I'm just saying, man. Congratulations, man, to that boy James, man. Hey, I know it's gonna be a good fight with James at the show. And I thought it was gonna be a good upset, man.
I know
But you know, hey, I'm gonna take heed though.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna take heed. That's all I can do is take heed to what them put what the judges said and come with it harder. Come with harder next time.
Man, like I said with Garfield, man, I agree with Garfield. Your second round, that was your strongest round, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you just pick up from this, learn from this. We got much more in the source, man. Right? We got
learn from what, nigga? I'm still a champ. Y'all got me wrong. I'm still an Intercontinental champ.
We gonna work.
I can't take my belt from me.
Tomorrow, we working on you defending that belt. Okay, understand that, right? Immediately, all right. All right. So before we go to before we transition over to James Cassel, Mikael, talk to us, family. Hebrews in the Hood.
All right, shalom. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, let me say this, man. You know, I was kind of called into this. You know, I was called into this joint. You know, just to really observe it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, King Seth, I've checked him out for a while. You know, me and the brother know each other. He a cool dude. But I never thought he was a good debater. I'm just being honest. Until I seen tonight. He actually is a good debater. He actually gave you a run for your money, James. I'm just being honest, Hebrew. But where he messed up at, and I know the judging is already official, but where he messed up at is exactly the same thing that a couple of people said, Garfield said and all that, is that he actually made Moses exist.
Right.
So I was kind of confused. I'm like, dude, he see what he's saying, right? You know, and so it's kind of like you can't use the argument and say, well, these can't be the Israelites because if you use secular recording, they don't record it the same way the Israelites did. You know what that's like, bro? Like with the Emperor Papyrus that Cassel James so eloquently used, I could have named more in there where they actually name all the plagues, but he did a good enough job. It's similar to when the Europeans invaded America, right? They wasn't calling all the tribes by their names and all that. They was calling them savages and beasts and all that. And when you look at some of the things that was said about the Native Americans, when they recorded what happened, they wasn't calling them the Irish and the Dutch, and they was saying these pale men are invading us. So all you do is you take the two, you compare them, and you see it was a true story. That's how you really do research, right? So I had to throw that in there. But I got to shoot my shot to somebody in the chat. The sister, I'm not going to say her name, but y'all need to stop falling for that. talking about if you can prove Moses was an Israelite and I be an Israelite. The only reason that sister say that, and I'm just keeping it real with y'all, because y'all know that's what I do. Y'all call me on. Her friend request been sitting in my friend request section for about 3 months, and it's not gonna get accepted. And I'm gonna tell you why. I watched her when she used to be a Hebrew. She got emotional with the camps, some stuff with her sister, and now she don't believe in nothing biblical. So y'all stop falling for the witchcraft. But I got to say this last thing to my beloved brother Garfield. I'm glad I got you on here. The only cat that ever set up a debate with me twice and ran live on TV. Yeah, everybody know about it. It's me, Kai. I'm finally on here, Garfield. You ran. The first time you had a medical emergency. I went with that. The second time we was waiting on you with something else. So I just want to say this to you, Garfield. I do not hate you, brother, but stop saying stuff about me on your live, because I check you every now and then when I don't say anything about you. Because every time you had a chance to debate me, when you admitted to everybody, I'm the reason you started going hard on the Bible. What was that, 7 years ago? When I cut you up so bad on Debate Talk for You, I created a monster. I feel bad for the rest of the Hebrew community that I created you, because you
Hey,
had
man, let me say this, bro. Hey,
No.
let me say this, bro.
No, but this ain't just show me, guy. Hold on, real
Let
quick.
me say this, bro. Let me say this. Hey, let me say this. Hey, let King Seth say this, and I'm gonna be out. The only reason why it looked like that is because in order for me to prove Moses, I have to jump into that paradigm. It's just like, nigga, if I gotta jump into Super Mario, I gotta go into Super Mario to get you to understand that Super Mario is not real. You see what I'm saying? I have to explain that this is not real so you can understand that it's not real. But hey, it's cool though. I salute it. Hey, say James.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Yeah,
Jeremiah.
I gotta let Garfield respond to that, and then we're going to James Cassel, the winner, right? So he can give his closing remarks. Go ahead, Garfield. I want you to respond,
Hey, I'm actually free right now. So, Mikael, if you want to debate, I ain't running from you, Mr. Cripple Guy. Come on.
Oh, double header.
See what he doing?
You don't gotta call him cripple, bro. Chill, bro.
Hey,
We ain't gonna do all
can
that.
I respond? Can I respond?
We ain't gonna do that cripple
Hold
stuff
on,
though. Calm that down, man.
That's cool, but everybody be quiet.
Can I respond? Can I respond?
No, he gotta calm that
Can I
Eminem
respond?
stuff down, please.
Can I respond?
Go ahead.
Now,
Go ahead.
I have never had a debate with you in my life. We have had conversations. You've ran off. You said something about Isaiah 11 years ago. So what? Something happened 7 years ago, a conversation. You're going to say you beat me up or you cut me? Come on, man. You sound like a little baby girl, man. I'll debate you right now after the show right now.
Garfield,
I'm free right now. I'm free right now. I'm free right now.
You gonna start talking? Let's talk like men for a second.
I'm free right now.
No, look, we don't want to take over the debate.
Hey, guys,
I'm free right now.
Debate,
I'm free right now.
Listen, y'all.
Yeah, y'all taking over the source right now. That's not y'all. Just not the place.
Listen, y'all. Just listen, y'all, because I ain't gonna let him off. I ain't gonna let him off. Y'all see what he just did? The first thing he did was bring up a physical insult about me getting shot up. He do that on his show all the time. So you know I hurt him scholastically 7 years ago. I created this.
Who cares about what you did?
What I'm telling you.
All right, brothers. All right, that's not the platform for it. I would smash you any day.
Okay, let's set it up.
I invited you to Chicago.
Set it up right now.
I'll pay for you to come to Chicago and have
it up right now. Set it up right now. Set it up right now.
Why would you keep running from me?
I'm gonna have to mute you, brothers. All right. We appreciate you, brothers, man, but this is James Cassel's moment, man. We got to let this brother speak now. All right. James Cassel, are you there? James Cassel, where you at, bro?
Yeah.
If he not coming on, man, congratulations, James, but you're not getting past this brick wall. You're not getting past this brick wall.
Congratulations to James.
Hey, congratulations to James, but James was terrible. Hold on. Let me say this, King Seth.
Man, I got set up.
You were terrible. You were terrible tonight.
Hey, listen.
Yeah, can I say something? Can I say something about it?
Hold up, family.
Hold on. Let me get my critique real quick. I gotta go back to work, Jeremiah. Let me just get my quick critique and I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? I've been at work all day. James, your second round, what you did your second round was terrible. If you come with that scholarship with me, I'm gonna bulldoze through you, bro. You know me for years. You knew me for years. I'm not King Seth, bro. So don't come with that weak scholarship. I'm gonna steamroll through you. That's all I gotta say. Scholastic bully, 7 candlesticks up. It ain't debaters to stick up, but congrats to your win.
War Machine got to battle each other. That's messed up.
It's in the final. Hey, I gotta kill my brother, man, on some Jacob and Esau stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
that's bad.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right.
I see blood. I see blood.
Gang. I had to let Joshua.
7 game.
He's in the championship match. It's gonna be James Cassel versus Joshua, man. So I had to let the brother speak. But it's one brother on the panel right now that I'm desperately wanting to hear from, right? It's somebody that's very special that's on this panel that gave a prediction. And I want to get his brother the floor. He got some words to eat. Yo, Roarborn, where you at?
I guess I'm a false prophet. So I never heard such debate before. I just had
Rabon.
Yo,
I got
bro. We've been talking all day. He gave us.
Damn, Rob Boy. Damn, God.
Yo, hey, before you say something, Rob Bourne, this is Mikael, Hebrews. You remember me and you supposed to debate about 4 years ago. I know you know Alan Brown. You remember me? We supposed to have a good debate. And you trying to say I bagged out. I say you bagged out. I don't remember what happened, but we was very respectful. You're nothing about
a debate about what though?
I don't know. It had something to do with I think I know what it was. The West, I think Ghana or the Ashanti was they Israelites. It was some shit like that.
Okay. And what about it?
No, I'm saying you handled yourself totally different than this effeminate woman Garfield.
Come on,
that's my point.
Hebrews, man. Let's just keep. I'm not doing it, man. I'm not doing it. I want to.
You my Facebook. Bro, you my Facebook friend right now. Hebrews Hood. That's me. That's me.
I know who you are. I mean, I just know I don't remember that. I'm just being honest with you. I don't.
Nobody remembers this dude. That's the point.
No, I know who he is.
You remember me, Garfield?
I just don't remember having an
every
argument
damn week.
I never had.
I'm starting to think you one of my ex-girlfriends or something.
Nobody talks about you.
Chill for 1 second. I just wanted to say about the debate. I'm just gonna talk about that. I never heard Seth debate before, but I had conversations with him, so I was like, yeah, I guess he bleeding, he can wash him up. I'm like, yo, son, James Cassel pulled this debate here. He pulled up his Facebook post from 2016 with these old ass arguments. I couldn't believe what I was looking at, and I was like, Seth. And I'm in my mind like, yo, son, all you got to do is somebody's making something and you know it's not right, you look it up and you get the consensus and then you attack that, then go into your bill. So the next time you do that, I mean, pay attention to what somebody's saying. I mean, like, especially if they come in, he built you up. And then at the last moment, I got an inscription right here. You supposed to mock that, son. I mean, like, it ain't too much information about Moses, bro. It's not. So it's easy to have this debate, but I like the second round. I mean, you turned up. The third round, you kind of, you did James' argument.
Right.
You talked about Moses.
Yeah, he did.
If you listen to what he said in the beginning, this is something that I always use. It's called the historical method. It's something James tried to flip and try to make you not pay attention to it. When you deal with oral traditions, it has to be within 150 years. Anything else?
Hey, man, I just want to know, why did all these brothers ruin my show?
Don't worry about it. We talking about the debate.
Nah, it ain't don't worry about it. None of y'all are part of this show. This is my show, and y'all ruined
we
my
talking
show.
about right now. Let's just talk about the debate. I'm going over yours.
No, what I want is all of y'all to leave so we can finish off this show.
Oh, you don't want me on here?
This was my debate. I won, and y'all spend all this time debating each other.
Who
when
you
I'm supposed to
talking
be
about?
giving my
I'm
winnings.
You know what?
brother
You know
Jay, I'm
what?
not even talking about what's
No,
going on.
Rob Bowen, I know what he's saying. I got to give my brother his utmost respect. I'm sorry myself. No, I'm gonna say this.
Y'all have a nice day, bro.
No, I'm gonna say this. I'm sorry myself, James. All glory to James for winning this debate, because that's really what we got in here for. I just had to throw my little jabs because I finally got Garfield in here. But everything is cool. And when you finally come out with that fraudulent book, Garfield, that people paid for that ain't never came out, I'll be ready to dissect it. All right, shalom.
All right, Mikael. Thank you, brother. All right, James.
Hey, yeah, hold on. Let me respond to that. So let me ask you a simple question. When you pray tonight, tell Jesus, hold on, tell Jesus to give you back your legs.
Once you tell him to give you back your parents and shit, I will.
That's all you want. That's all I want.
All right, fine. This is all I gotta say.
All right.
I'm glad that I had a chance to debate King Seth. That's my Houston brother. You know what I'm saying? We go back and forth in these back checks all day. I'm not gonna lie. He had me nervous for a minute. He's the best competition I've had in this debate thus far. I must say, hands down. So I want to give my brother a round of applause. You know, it's Southside of H-Town all day for us, man. And I'm ready to get to this championship, man, because we got my brother. Everybody know me and him ride or die. We about to go head to head.
I don't know how y'all finna do that, man. That got me messed up in the spirit, man. I can't see my two brothers debating each other. Come on, man. We from the war machine. I can't imagine debating one of y'all, man.
But trust me, it's gonna be a good debate.
Back chat for a second, bro. Put you in the back chat for a second.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good debate. I think everyone's gonna have, you know what I'm saying, a good time seeing it. We already got our mind set on the topic because we was talking about just in case. And like I said, it's gonna be a great one. I want to give all praises to the Most High, you know, for this victory. And like I said, I'm ready to get to that championship, man. Hallelujah. And I'm out, y'all.
Hey, man, well, hold up. Before you go, man, I I'm going to apologize for the little bit of confusion there at the end, man.
Oh, you good. That wasn't on you, bro.
That
wasn't on you.
But I definitely wanted to give you an opportunity to speak, man, because it's your time, bro. It's your time. And I want to ask you about Joshua. I kind of wanted y'all to go back and forth a little bit, man, but it got confusing, man. You understand? So, but what you think we can expect, man, from the championship match, man? We finally here, man. We are finally here. Somebody's going home with the belt, man.
True that. But we thought that, you know what I'm saying, because we like 95% believe the same thing. So we thought that it'd be better to go into, especially biblically speaking, it'd be better to go into a realm in which we don't necessarily see eye to eye on, and that's politics. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have a debate on which political system in our current world today best would align with Torah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's gonna be a good one because we do think. Oh, what's up?
Yeah, no, I'll say that's gonna be a good one, bro.
Because we do think that at least as Israelite, do think that voting, especially locally, is something that we should partake in to better our environment and to better our conditions. Because I personally don't believe you can complain about something unless you made your voice heard on it.
Yeah. Well, man, again, man, congratulations, man. You know, it was a hard-fought fight. You know what I'm saying? I agree with Garfield, man, on that second round. I actually posted that in the 7 Candlesticks room. But all in all, man, you did your thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Much props and respect to King Seth. He came in and was swinging. And it's nothing to hang your head about, King Seth. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate all the judges and everybody tuning in, man. Yo, this is the
I'm gonna say, let me say one more thing real quick. I want to say, I was nervous, man, until King Seth started saying his name was Osiris, and he was a person who did take people to Jerusalem. You know what I'm saying? At that point, I was like,
man, the camera would have been on my face. I was like, whoa, okay. Very, very informative, man. Very informative. And you know, I did want to have the brothers come in here, man, and share their views on the whole thing, man. So ultimately, above all, man, it went well, right? So all praise and glory to the Most High. We're gonna keep moving forward, right? King Seth, heretic, man, you understand, right? Tanks on the ground, scholastic bullies, right? This is what we do here at the Source, man, right? We're gonna keep bringing you these powerful discussions, and I want you to get prepared for the championship match, man. We started with 16, went down to 8, went down to 4. Now we at the championship match. First there was 16, now there's only 2, right? So all praise and glory, man. With that being said, Source up or shut up. We out of here.